It's time to walk away with no apology. apologies. Voices in the mirror struck quietly. Now they're screaming back at holding on until my hands blind bleeding. This is my birthright. I'm so sick of feeling like I'm helpless. This is over tonight. fall back face down to the floor. And I'm waiting while I'm hating what I'm waiting for. It's time to take a hold of what belongs to me. It's time to walk away with no apologies. Voices in the mirror struck quietly. Now they're screaming like a it's true, you're a fool if you think you were born to be waiting while you're hating what you're waiting for. It's time to take a hold of what belongs to me. It's time to walk away with no apology.
Welcome back to the Garina Premier League Week 2 Day 3. So we're here to bring a fantastic game and we are going to join you today. I am Teddy Tibus. Joining me is...
Yes, I am Ni, like the Knights of Ni.
Yes, so we are here to bring you enjoyment to this Garina Premier League. So for those of you the first time tuning in, let me give you a short overview of the Garina Premier League is. Basically, the Garina from the Southeast Asia region and Taiwan has all gathered their professional teams together to create this league for you. And so the six countries will be Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, as well as Philippines. Not Bangkok.
It's not Bangkok. I'm sorry, it's a capital city. Exactly. Yes. We have 6 teams all around the globe. We have 5 Southeast Asian teams and 1 team from Taipei coming into this tournament. They will be playing off in a 20-week run tournament where each team will try to fight for the top 3 placings.
Yes, basically if you can see from this chart, so Team B and Team C, just to speak, as from the 2nd ranking and 3rd ranking, they'll be fighting for best of 3 to gain a chance to fight for the final spot or the first runner-up spot to become the GPL champion against Team A to see who will win the prize pool. I think the total cash will be for 40,000 USD for the first place itself.
Yep, the total price is 40k USD, and it's only 6 teams will be playing off in this Garina Premier League, but they are 6 top teams from 6 different countries.
Definitely, yes. So we definitely can hope to see a lot of fabulous plays, fantastic plays from this 20-week run that we're going to have.
Yes, and today for Game 1, we'll be having Team MNE, the Manila Eagles, taking on the team from Malaysia, KL Hunters. And let's just take a look at...
So wait, as well as Game 2, not to forget, don't put them too low, will be the Saigons Jokers versus the Bangkok Titans. You know, must talk about other countries, not just our own. Okay, so moving on, we're just going to introduce the Manila Eagles team to you guys. So these are the people who are representing Philippines. And so let's take a closer look at this. So today, the players that we'll be playing will be Rabanga. Basically, he is the top player, as well as joining him will be Solindra, which is the support, who initially was an AP carry before this, but he has changed his name from Dynasty to Solindra, as well as being the support. And for the AD carry, most probably be VYY, I believe, and Kaigu will be playing the AP carry, together joined with Misery, who's going to play the jungle. So I believe these are the top 5 players that I have in the team, because lately we've been seeing them play more than the others, so I hope to see a good match from them, definitely for today. So now moving on to the next team, not forgetting our own home team.
Yes, our own home team. We have KL Hunters right here. 5 players basically. Now let's just introduce them to you, even though some of you may have already known them, but for all the new viewers out there, now we have Goldens in the mid lane as an AP carry. We have Monkeys on the top lane, Epions in the jungle. Support would be Don Murray, but he has been playing AD carry this time. And Hagane would be playing the AD carry or the support.
Definitely. I mean, lately they've been mixing up the roles to maybe try and confuse the opponents and been trying a lot of new things out, new strategies all together. So definitely can hope to see a fantastic play to be performed today. So yesterday's bans for the team that were fighting against Bangkok Titans were fighting against the KL Hunters, and what they did was they banned all the AP chairs. Their focus for both sides of the AP carry meets. So I wonder today, will Malaysia Eagles do the same thing as Bangkok Titans? The bans was more focused on what Goldens will be playing. They seem to be fearing the AP mid carry for KL Hunters, Goldens more than the others. So what do you think about that?
Goldens is a really, really consistent player. See, that's the good part about being. I mean, that's the thing about being a professional player is one, you need consistency. Two, you need your skill, and we do know that Goldens has his skill. He has a consistency. You know, he can perform in any sort of situation. We have seen that in the week runs of the tournaments. You know, it's not much of an issue. And let's just take a look at the bans yesterday for Bangkok Titans going off against KL Hunters. Bangkok Titans took up Anivia, Morgana and Rice, and KL Hunters took up Vladimir, Ari and Twisted Fate. Basically the 6 main AP champions which would probably be played by Goldens or by Monkeys.
Definitely. I mean, I suppose they wanted to try to ban out all those AP carries which were more troublesome. Like Ari has very high mobility, Twisted Fate can teleport around the map. Lately, the bans for those AP champions seems to be those that focus on high mobility or higher sustain and damage at the end of the game. So I hope maybe we'll see the same bans again today, or finally we'll see maybe Shen be the first ban for this match, because actually Shen did show himself yesterday, the first time in the whole Garena Premier League.
Yeah, Shen, but it went to Bangkok Titans. But in the end, unfortunately, they lost the game against KL Hunters.
Yeah, so I mean, this is definitely something that we can hope to see, because everyone thinks Shen is the OP champion. But as you can see, KL Hunters took him down without any problem with Cockmore.
Yes, and as I'd like to mention that I would like to see a very, very different type of gameplay style. You know, I like to see different champions moving into the pool. I like to see different gameplays going in and out of the game. I mean, going in and out of the game. I would like to see something like that. You know, it's the meta game has always been, right, we have this and this will win us. You know, we have this and this with this and this and this. But this is why I like League of Legends is for teams which you have a lot of innovation. You change around you change the meta game around, you make it work, and it becomes a new meta game.
Yes,
and we have
definitely
seen Taipei Assassins do that a lot.
Yeah, they have been playing quite different lineups, quite different champions for the top lanes and everything. So now the game has begun. I'm going to move into the screen soon. So we're going to see something exciting. Let's just guess the first ban. It's
Yeah, I
going to be
hope I agree. I'll say Blitzcrank.
Blitzcrank. But why? Oh,
no, it's right. So you owe me dinner.
But you got it wrong as well. Why would I owe you dinner?
Because you said Shen. And Shen goes down for
see, but this kind
but
of
it's not first, but it's first, not the first
But I'm
bank.
still 50% correct. But compared to you, you were off.
I like Blitzcrank.
Blitzcrank. Okay. Anyway, I suppose maybe the same bands for it was Ari, and I suppose the last one for the Team Malaysia Eagles is most probably going to be Morgana, and then goes Twisted Fate ban from Calendars again for today. They're quite fearful of Twisted Fate's ganks, because the coordination is a bit messy whenever Twisted Fate comes in. Most probably I see them play against a few streams, so supposedly they want to take out the biggest risk to their team, definitely.
Yeah, that's right. And let's talk a bit on Twisted Fate. Now he has this ultimate, his major spell allows him to grant him vision of everyone on the map, all enemy champions on the map, and you are able to teleport to anywhere within your range. It used to be a global spell until Riot nerfed it down.
There's a nerf almost every single global spell. Even Shen's ultimate has been nerfed.
Yes, Shen's
Oh, and there goes a Galio ban and the Grace ban, which is
a bit much different.
Yeah, a bit much different.
The Grace has been quite a big pick lately in the majority of games, and we see the first pick bar for Manila Eagles. It will be Vladimir. I think Hunters taking out that Cockmore, no shy.
Yes,
no shy. Like, no shy. Nunu and Cockmore.
The same combo again. See from yesterday. I believe that is their strongest combination for the bottom lane so far. Nunu pushing the opponent's back and buffing Cockmore to do tons of damage in the early to late game stage with his Bio Arcane Barrage.
Yep.
That's correct.
Yes, it's a Bio Arcane Barrage. It does, when you activate it, it grants you a fair bit of attack range. So it practically makes you into an artillery. It makes you an artillery, which you do maximum of their HP percentage HP as damage.
Yes.
So if you're a tank, you have 3000 HP, you're gonna feel the damage coming out from Cockmore.
I see. Oh, so instead of Grace normally with the pick which has been banned, they choose Corki with the higher damage output or burst, because he can reduce the armor, and his ultimate which is 7 stacks maximum and keeps spamming in like 1.5 seconds each time, I believe.
Yeah, why don't you talk about the Corki ultimate,
Corki
the
ultimate.
rockets?
The rockets. So basically, if I'm not wrong, it's been quite some time since I played Corki because it's a bit hard champion to play. You need to be quite the master as the AD carry itself to play Corki. So for his ultimate, for every 10 seconds, is it?
It cooldowns every 7 seconds.
Every 7
So
seconds.
you stack up missiles every 7 seconds, and on your 4th or 3rd hit, it becomes a giant missile which does AOE damage, which does an area effect damage.
No, it does a larger area effect damage and 50% more damage from the normal shots.
Yes.
Yes. So Corki's ultimate is one of those skills where you can slowly poke and chip your opponents down even before you reach the lane, unless you're going to miss all those shots, and it's going to be quite wasteful.
Right, and we have another Nocturne pickup by Don Murray. It looks like Nocturne will be in the jungle again. It looks like their picks are quite similar to their previous game yesterday. It will be Nunu, Kog'Maw, and Nocturne. Now, what we have not seen, and we see a Orianna pickup by Manila Eagles. Now, I haven't seen Orianna on the field for a very, very long time.
Yes, after the multiple nerfs and slight buffs, Orianna still 4 shots.
Oh no, it's swapping to Kassadin.
Okay, so we went too quick right there. But I mean,
We have an enemy
they still
pickup.
uncertain to what is able to counter Anivia, because Golden's does play a very strong Anivia, and his play style is that he doesn't stack any AP in the middle of the game. Early of the game, he has the Wall Mox, he has a Tear of Goddess, and he still does tons of damage with his Icicle. When the opponent's being frosted or has a frosted effect from Phage or anything, he does double damage from there.
Yeah,
So
I'm actually quite a bit uncertain why you picked up you picked up Cassiopeia, right? Or
yes,
Orianna.
I believe he changed it back to Cassiopeia in the end.
So we have now Goldens have picked up his own Anivia, and we've seen a lot of different builds from his Anivia. You know, he probably goes Warmox, Tears of Goddess Warmox, or he goes with that Spirit Visage, Tears of Goddess, and Wheel of Ancients. But this is the best part about his Anivia. He builds very, very weirdly, but he makes it work.
Yes,
That is the best part about Goldens. He has very, very good. He's very, very good with his champions, which he usually plays.
And normally when you see him play the AP mid, his items always change depending on how the opponent appears or what they seem to choose. I mean, sometimes he does build the early Wheel of Ancients, but if it's not needed, he'll actually go for Tear of Goddess instead of and other things like that. I mean, Golden so far is one of the strongest player in Malaysia, where you can see his item build always changes accordingly to the situation that's needed for him to overtake the middle AP champions as well as to support his team overall.
Yes, that is why I'm very, very fond of Golden. I'm looking forward to see Golden's play majority of the time. You see, it's like myself looking forward to see other teams play like TSS, Taipei Assassins. You see, I'm looking forward to see Golden's play.
Definitely.
I'm really looking forward.
In my opinion, so far, I also love to see Golden's play because his play style always amazes me, as he always brings out some clutch plays, something different overall, and it's actually gonna be
Orianna. Yeah, he swapped back to Orianna.
And the last pick for KL Hunters will be Cannon. So it's going to be a Cannon versus Vemmer top game, which is normal lineup we see, which is Monkeys is the player. He's been the top player as for KL Hunters for quite some time. And normally the matchup it appears is always Velemir versus Cannon. So
Cannon versus Velemir, yeah, it's something like that. It has always been like, it's like a swap-a-roo thing. Now let's just take a look at the runes from Orianna, because we have not really seen an Orianna on play before, like quite often. It looks like he's going with the full AP like stated on his rune page.
Yes.
He has full 45 AP at level 18, which would be his seals and his glyphs would be AP per level, and his queens would be flat AP, and his basic and his marks would be
armor penetration, of course.
Magic penetration.
Yeah,
I know you like to play armor penetration on your mages.
It does more damage.
I know Curse Gaming does that. Curse Gaming does. The only reason why majority of games, if you see the US scene, Curse Gaming, they play a lot of katas.
Yes.
And his katas, Curse Gaming katas is just the bomb.
Yes.
He builds, his rune page is very, very weird. He has armor, he has armor penetration, he has magic. He has all these weird runes, but he just turns out to be a wreck.
Yes, and it just works out for him. So right now, we just take a look at the masteries. It's most probably going to be a similar build, which is 2109 for every single mage that plays out there. Oh, okay. Let's see, there goes the master, but he takes the 3 physical attack points instead of the 4 ability power in the beginning for the offensive tree, which is normally what people have been doing right now. But I've seen Taipei Assassins that played, they take the 3 attack damage and the 1 point that they use for the mastery to improve the ignite. After ignite, you get an extra 5 damage and 5 ability power. Instead, they put it in the mastery that allows you to attack minions and do bonus 2 damage to it, which is a certain one, because they seem to want to focus on the farming stage in the early game, where most players right now they have rejected that 4 ability power, the fat ability power at the beginning of the game. So what do you think about that?
Right. I really agree in this part. It's great to see very different gameplays. Majority, myself, I would probably just jump into, a lot of just focusing down a lot of ability power. At some points where I feel that, it actually makes sense where you build up a bit of attack power, where you build up a bit of maybe attack speed, especially when Oriana, your passive actually deals a bit of your AP in damage. It makes that attack speed viable.
And as you can shield yourself, you're able to soak some hits and trade more hits as well at the same time.
Yep.
So this is going to be, I hope to see some fantastic play by Oriana, because personally, it's one of my favorite champions as well, because she just is able to control opponents very well with the ball placement. You force them to move where you want them to be, and you just do the damage, and the ultimate with the Lux or another AoE combo is going to be devastating, definitely.
Yeah, I think the only reason why you like Oriana is because she's always on the ball. It's a very lame joke.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
You're
I apologize.
Lame. You're lame. Alright, so anyway, let's just get back to the game. We are 30 seconds before the game starts. Now let's talk a bit on the lineup. We have, they have this really basic pick. The Vladimir, Koki, Oriana, Shyvana in the jungle, and Janna as a support. Now we look at the Manila Eagles side. They are not packing anything like heal. They are not packing any CV. It looks like they're going with that really offensive build where you have 3 ignites, you have 1 exhaust from the Janna, and for the KL Hunter side you have heal on the Kog'Maw. I think it's great.
Yes,
I think it's actually a good idea, but when you have Koki flying in, he's going to use his Valkyrie. He's going to come into your face with the Gatling cannon. He's going to shred all those armor, and alongside that, he's going to put the ignite on you, where it just causes your heal to be partially worthless.
Yeah, to be negated. As well as, not to forget, Koki also has a phosphorus bombs. Everything of his skills can be spammable and cast out very quickly, which makes Koki very devastating. But the problem will be how well will he control the mana used for Koki.
I think that's why majority. We see a lot of Koki start off with Mana Mune, or with that early Shin, because you have like a lot of spells which you can cast. It's something like Ezreal, where your Mystic Shot has a very fast cooldown, so it makes Shin a very valuable item at the start of the game.
Very valuable to use as well, to proc extra double damage to that. So right now, we're going to move into the game. I believe it has already begun. So we're going to take a very good look at the items that have been bought, which is the standard build for almost everyone, except for Shyvana. Oh, Shyvana going to be a more safer build with the cloth armor and 5 pots.
Yeah, Shyvana is going to have the 5 cloth armor, 5 pots. You can probably his runes are a little much different, and we see Koki moving out of the Tri-Brush, spotting the entire KL Hunters team coming into the Tri-Brush at the bottom lane, and not really much happening.
Yeah, I think they believe they've been seen, so they're going to move back. Going to be more protective, or going to be more aggressive and move to the middle lane gank instead? Because they're all getting into the bush right there, either preparing to counter gank or aim for the Shyvana, which is still in the middle lane.
Nah, I don't think they are actually aiming for a counter gank. We see Koki now. Koki and Janna are going to set up for that golem, for that early double golem. Put them in the half EXP bar spot where they will be able to reach that level 2 much quicker than the purple side.
Yeah, the Kog'Maw and Nunu. I mean, this is a tactic that everyone is using right now, which gives the bottom lane, left side, the blue side, so to speak, or the green side without colorblind mode, an advantage in the early stages of your AD carry and support. Yeah, so right now they're going to go for the safe route, which is the wolves to the blue, and for Shyvana is going for the waves and the red. So most probably going to see an early game at bottom lane, or they're just going to, or Shyvana is going to play safe and go for the blue and go for a top gank instead. Since bottom lane right now is one of the hardest lanes to gank, as the support has a lot of wards, and the side is always there. Even though there's no CV, but for professional players, they are able to count the timer almost exactly at what point a jungle will finish clearing his creeps as well as move on.
Janna taking a bit of hit from the golem, not very. not very great right there. And Vladimir gonna take a shuriken to the face. Gonna have that lightning proc on him. Oh, the thing about Keenan. Now, if not many people of you know who Keenan is, he is that ninja hamster looking thing, which his main elemental focus is on lightning, and if his passive, if he structs 3 lightning charges on you, he stuns you for 1 second.
And right now you can see that bottom lane was being a bit aggressive, and they saw Janna also in the lane. They did take Okay's life down by a bit, and right now Orianna poking Golden's right there and just trading hits together. But Orianna has spammed really a lot of the mana right there. She's managed to dodge the stun there. Normal play, you should be able to dodge Anivia stun in the beginning if you want.
Anivia has a type of champion where you rely a lot on juking. You trick enemies into moving into the ball of the icicle ball, where you are able to land the stun much easier, or you can put up your wall to ward them off.
We see a gang coming up top, most probably. Epions is in position. I think Hannah's going to try to make
gang coming out.
Wave proc, he has a fear procs right there. The damage burst goes down a bit, no, because it's not burst, just a bit damage going down, pushing Vladimir to fall back from there, giving Cannon a slight advantage.
Right, not very good gang on the top lane, but not enough against Vladimir. Vladimir has that. He has a sanguine pool, which allows him to escape ganks very, very, very easily. And we see Nocturne going back onto the top lane of the Golden part. And the stun lands on Orianna, but Anivia not able to move for the icicle ball as his jungle is just passing by. We see Cogmore now very, very low HP, and I think the exhaust has come down.
Yes, Nuno did use the exhaust. I believe it was good choice, as if Toki does want to fly in for the ignite, they might have gotten the kill because the shield wouldn't have been so good. So I believe that exhaust was a good choice to make them to not commit to the push for Malenia Eagle side, and Cogmore be able to save his life and continue farming overall.
I think now it puts them, it puts bottom lane. KL Hunters are now at a disadvantage at the bottom lane. They do not have their exhaust, but they still have their heal. And Janna still has his exhaust, and Cocky still has his ignite. It may be a bit of an issue right there.
Because Cogmore charging in.
Very, very aggressive. I'm not too sure whether it's a great idea right there. Going to take a bit of hits. Going to take very, very easy hits from the Cocky, and now he's really, really low on HP. He has 300 HP left. It may not look good. It may not look very, very good. And Janna now being very, very aggressive. You see Cocky going to fly in right there, and Nuno going to flash out very, very wise right there with the flash. The ignite going to be wasted, and both on the bottom, they're just going to move back. Orianna overextending quite comfortably right there, right? I think he spotted something. He knew something was going to happen, and he just moved back. And Keenan, it's just gone back into this real farming phase. And as I say, Vladimir is this type of champion. It's very hard to chip off at Vladimir.
Yes, definitely, because he's able to recover the health, the sustain very easily in the lane. So right now he's at level 5, I believe, so that puts his skill cooldown to be very quick compared to the early levels, making him able to sustain, hold the lane without any problems at all, even trading hits overall.
Yes, and I believe, and my thoughts were right. I was actually about to say Keenan is probably moving into an AD build, and yes, he is moving into an AD build. He has picked up 2 Doran's Blade, gonna able to put his damage up by another 20 damage. Now, Vladimir is this style of champion. You can sustain very well against burst, but you may have an issue sustaining against constant attacks. And Orianna missing her balls, missing her command move a lot right there. I'm not going to say balls because it may sound a little different. It may sound a little weird.
And not correct. So right down there, now, Nunu and Cogmore with the aggressive, making him more aggressive right now, going to trade this right there. The exhaust goes down on Nunu, and Nunu might be killed right here, they're going to be killed. There's no.
Cogmore now moving away, and Cogmore very aggressive, got the first blood.
Maybe going to poke on to the second blood right here. No, Janna moves too fast for Cogmore right there.
Very good distraction by Nunu. Having the exhaust placed on him, say, oh hi guys, you may try to kill me, but you know what, I'm Nunu, I'm really tanky, I'm riding on a Yeti, so that doesn't really count. I'm actually a small kid on the Yeti.
Yes, Nunu is actually the small kid on the Yeti. Nunu's name is actually the Yeti Rider, for those of you who have not noticed.
I can't remember what's the Yeti's name, but that's not really important right now. But it's great first blood pickup by KL Hunters, putting them in the goal lead of 400.
That first blood goal lead.
Yes, that's really first blood goal lead. Anivia picking up her first tier of Goddess. Vladimir has picked up the his Hexset Revolver. And we see Oriana moving into a Catalyst build, probably going with that really tanky early start, where you build into a Rod of Ages.
Yes, definitely. So, but I mean, right now, I mean, top lanes has been the top lane AP champions have taken quite a hit if you go for View of Ancients first, because right now it's a bit more expensive compared to before. And I believe that this will put Cannon in the side advantage because he's going for AD build and he can get sustain back as he fast back the creeps, while Vladimir needs to depend on his skills. And right now, Shyvana is actually preparing to steal the blue right there, moving into position, and Nunu also moving in to help protect the blue. And right now, Shyvana sees the Anivia stuns going on. Actually
steals the blue, and we see Shyvana now trying to move away. Very nice play right there. Very nice steal by Shyvana. But he has to pop his flash, flashing out of the wall. Now he is in a disadvantage of ganking.
Yes. So right now he's going to get his level 6 first before he prepares for the gank, so he's able to fly in or fly out from if something does happen with his ultimate, turning him to the dragon form. I mean her, because Shyvana is a female.
She can be a male.
Imagine. So we're going to change Cockmore into a male instead of a worm.
He's a slut.
He's a slut.
Yeah. Doesn't change the fact. He's a monster.
Okay, so right now actually MLE's blue buff is up and Shyvana's not in position, so I wonder whether Golden's and together with Apeons will prepare to steal back the blue right now, right there. As you can see that, Apeons is currently taking a red buff and they might move on to the blue, I believe. But right now Cannon's back in the base. I believe they want the 3 people at the opponent's blue buff if they do a steal right there. But I think Anivia is actually going to go back to base or is being pushed back by Oriana at the tower.
We see the CS count right there. Anivia is actually 57 on the CS count. We have Oriana 78 on the CS count, leading in the CS side. Vladimir 61 and Keenan 60. It looks like MNE is doing a very good job leading on the CS side, but I see Corki not doing very. Actually, Corki is actually matched up against Cockmore in the CS side, but Cockmore has that extra 400 gold which he picked up by killing Corki. And we see his range is actually putting him in a very good position to harass Corki off with his Bio-Arcane Barrage.
And with the extra Doran Blaze that he got from the first bird, that puts him in even better advantage in terms of HP as well as damage output.
Yes, that's right. And we see Vladimir going to take a hit by the Shuriken, and they're going to take a few hits by Keenan. Right there, Vladimir doesn't have the range to normal attack. He doesn't have his normal attack range to harass back. He requires his transfusion, which provides more range and more damage, but he has a very high cooldown rate before level 9.
Yes. And right now bottom lane, Cockmore totally taking advantage of his range as well as his first build with better items, and after Corki has used his Valkyrie, right? Valkyrie fire to move away, he's going to push him down and harass him back.
It looks like they're actually trying to bait, Shyvana to the bottom side, to the bottom lane, probably trying to get a gang on her. They know that she has a 2 buff, and we see Nunu moving in a very bad position right there. Shyvana now working on Nunu, gonna fly in, and Nunu has to flash out with the exhaust, and Shyvana knows that he cannot catch up to Nunu without being killed. As you see, Oriana moving onto the bottom lane as well, but not going to be able to catch anyone right there. They may have Nocturne may be nearby, and it is a bad idea to move in, especially when Nocturne is level 6.
Yes, Oriana is actually hiding in the bush at the bottom lane, preparing for a gang right there. Cockmore is alone, Nunu is back into the base, so I wonder never mind. Oriana actually went right to the base, so I don't think a gang will happen right there.
Can we look at the bottom lane, please? It's alright. Let's see Keenan. Now you see Corki now having the advantage with the farm. Nunu is out of commission at the moment. He's not able to support he's not able to support Cockmore from the base. So Corki just taking in that advantage. Now going to push in and grab that extra CS, which he has been missing out against the Cockmore. And we see Corki has picked up another 2 Doran Blades, putting his damage to extra 30 damage. It seems as though Corki is having some issues farming. If this type of build, he needs the early survivability, he needs that early damage. He can kill, but he needs the Doran Blades.
Yes, definitely. So Shyvana actually not opting to get an early lantern, but has a crystal and a Madras.
Let's see what Shyvana has. I think that should be enough. Because you do not really need, what I feel for Shyvana, you don't really need that lanterns early game. You might need that early HP to get to successfully gank easier. I mean, if you're gonna gang, you will need a lot of HP because you are this type of champion with really focused in. You do not have a lot of skills which you can escape unless your burnout is still. I mean, unless you save your burnout just to escape.
Yes, and the dragon form as well. Right now here, Cornwall being very aggressive against Corky, as Corky did use his Valkyrie to get away.
No, Valkyrie didn't use his Valkyrie to get away, but he's taking a lot. Actually, he didn't use his Valkyrie to get away. But he took a lot of damage, a lot of damage from Cornwall. And you see now, Shyvana just trying to go in for another steal, and Nocturne got to spot it and say, no, you're not going to steal this. You're going to steal my blue a second time. And we see Vladimir right there in the bottom lane as well, trying to help. And the ward has come up into the blue side of KL Hunters. Now they do have the timing for the blue. The KL Hunters is in the goal lead of 200, not very far. You see Keenan landing a random shuriken onto Vladimir, going to put out that lightning hit as well onto him.
And Cannon came from the top to bottom when he saw the Vladimir in the bush and the Shyvana right there, going to protect this blue buff this time. Not going to give it to the opponent. Going to let Golden's be able to put himself in the advantage in terms of getting the blue buff and continuous farming with the ultimate and his son.
Yes,
so
it's very great play by KL Hunters. Now they know that they cannot afford to lose another blue to Oriana or to Shyvana. This will help them. This will help them a lot with their advantage. And we see that now KL Hunters now moving on to the dragon side. Now they may be able to get this dragon. We see Vladimir on the top side, not able to do much right now. They're just going to put the dragon out. They're just going to push the dragon, and they have gotten the dragon extra 190 gold. Is it 190
yes,
gold? 190 gold for the entire team. Going to put their goal lead from 200 into the 1000 goal lead. Very well played there by KL Hunters. You know, they just go in. Everyone, the Manila Eagles, they're just going to move in to protect their blue, but no, we're going to move in and protect our blue, and they're going to take the dragon as well, and they're going to put us in their advantage, and too bad for you.
I believe it's also because of the ward that Goldens have in the middle, top middle bush, where they saw Vladimir moving back to the top lane, and they knew that it was safe to take the dragon as Vladimir is too far to actually come down and help them.
Right, and we see Keenan now taking the red instead of Nocturne. Now Nocturne not able to land a lot of successful ganks at the moment. We see Nocturne now. Nocturne has been really farming all this while because the teams have been very safe with their gameplay. You see Rabenga moving in and out, being very safe with his gameplay. He has picked up his sorceress, but going to be able to do a lot of damage against Keenan. But Keenan now, he may have his wits end in the pocket already, ready to come out. Once he gets that wits end, Vladimir is going to have an issue against Keenan.
So right now the bottom lane is being pushed as Nunu and Cornwall is going right to the base. I do not think you want to break the tower as you're not really in advantage of the farm, but I suppose they want to bring back the goal lead because they've taken the dragon right there, so they're going to pump everyone's gold. But I mean, they've been quite successful being aggressive against KLH at the bottom lane, but I don't think it was a smart move, or because they want the gang to happen right now. So Shyvana is coming in, he's going to fly in with the dragon form, the flash goes down, the exhaust goes down.
Yes, and Nunu takes the hit from Shyvana and Corky. Very bad. Gonna be. I think it was a bad idea taking the bait right there. We see Shyvana being very aggressive, gonna come in with the fireballs. Nocturne being caught out of position right there, and the big hamster ball gonna go on to Shyvana. And we saw Anivia gonna come in with, and we see Nocturne now moving in with the ultimate, trying to get a hit onto Shyvana, but Shyvana with her burnout gonna be able to escape very easily. If the fear gonna come out of Shyvana. Yes, and the kill goes on to Shyvana's gonna live right there, and we see a lot of Manila Eagles in the bomb lane. Not too sure what they're doing, and we see Jana almost being killed by Anivia, but very good push there by Jana. Gonna push Anivia away, and the slow gonna come out from Cornwall if you continue the chase.
I don't think that's a good. Shyvana actually made a mistake moving towards Cornwall. Yes, was the last hit.
That was not a very great idea. Although you did take two guys from KL Hunters, putting that chase is not a very great idea. We see Keenan being very aggressive with Vladimir. May kill Vladimir right here. He has the attack damage, he has the attack speed, and we see Oriana going down to Anivia as well. Very strong right there. And we see Keenan now very aggressive, very ballsy right there. And Keenan got to take a lot of damage from the ultimate and the tower hits, and got to survive with barely enough HP to make another run at him if he would have died.
Yeah, see right now, you pushed the bottom tower, you got the 2 kills, but you didn't, after getting your kills, recover back from that, go back to shield, which was which was MNE's basic mistake, I believe, because I mean after you gotten the double kills to secure it, you're in a safe position. I believe that Shyvana and Corki should have backed down from there.
Yeah, they have gotten a little greedy right there. Would have it is their bane, and we now see Nocturne pushing into the mid lane of MNE, and KL Monkeys have taken the top lane at the top side. You know, they're gonna put their goal lead further in front. They are now at a lead of 2,300.
Yes, and then
so it almost took the tower, and Shyvana gonna throw a fireball onto Nocturne's face. Now the fireball, the thing about the fireball, it reduces armor of those who get hit. So it is actually a bread and butter skill for Shyvana.
Is it? I thought it actually amplifies Shyvana's damage.
It doesn't. It reduces their armor.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, it reduces the armor. There is
take a look on that to see whether you're correct after this.
Right. Can you please take a look at Shyvana's third skill? Whoever's controlling. Alright, anyway, no need to worry about that. I'm still gonna stand that Shyvana's third skill reduces armor.
Yes, okay, we'll just check that later. Right now, push is gonna happen in the middle. Four of them have gathered there. Valamir is coming down to the middle lane as well. Nocturne is right there. Cannon also moving to the middle lane, except Cockmore is still farming happily at the bottom lane. And right now they're going to move to the blue again, I believe. Going to try to steal the blue.
Yes, they know they have the timing. And you see, Anivia's wall going to be able to spot the ball by Orianna right there. You see, both teams have that scouting advantage, and they're just going to steal the blue from KR Hunters. And that will be the second blue being stolen away.
I mean, Anivia still has a blue because I believe he killed Orianna earlier, so I believe that wouldn't be that much of a problem. But MLE actually tried to steal back the blue.
We see a different build on Keenan. We see a different build. He has picked up an Executioner's Calling.
I mean, that is actually one of the good gears that gives it an ignite effect. I mean, without wasting your ignite.
We have a flash by Nuno, but not a very great play right there. Not too sure what he's doing. As probably, you know, he's going to move back and see the entire enemy team, and Vladimir not in a very good position. Going to throw out his ultimate. Not going to do a lot of damage.
Orianna actually flies in. Orianna goes down. Nocturne's ulti goes out. Chasing Orianna right now. And Nivea coming in with tons of damage right there. And Vibega going to fall to top right there.
Jane going to take up the kill on Orianna, and Domri going to take up the kill on Vladimir. And we see now they're just going to work on to Orianna, barely escaping, right? Barely escaping. And see Cockmore able to hit those living. Asylum is going to land a kill onto Orianna. Very well played there by KR Hunters, coming in with a lot of support. You know, this is how teams should play. You come in with the backup, really fast backup. You know, you don't need teleport for it, but you know, teleport is a plus.
Definitely. And right there, Cockmore actually got the kill with a fantastic stun landed by Golden through the whole chaotic fight. Actually landing the stun onto Orianna in front of the tower. Right now for Water Lane, they're taking on both towers, and right now the dragon is about to come up. They're moving to the dragon to try and secure another free dragon right there. Domovi taking the blue back from Orianna, and now they're moving into the dragon. Shyvana going to try and steal the dragon, but her dragon form is not up yet, not ready. I don't believe she's able to move in fast enough to get the dragon.
Right, they say KL Hunters is saying, you know, you can steal our blue, but we're going to kill you and we're going to take the dragon twice. So it's not much of a problem. You can have our blue because I have a Tears of Goddess, and I have a chalice. I have a Tears of Goddess. I have a chalice. You're not going to be able to do a lot of damage to me, and I'm almost at my war mox. That's what Anivia said.
I believe so. And right now, Cannon?
Right, they're actually, attempting a push onto the middle lane. They are going to get this. No, they have 4 champions right there, and Keenan and Nocturne are the only ones trying to defend.
Yes,
right?
even though they did a successful push onto the tower, the bottom lane minions are actually pushing into MLE's base.
Yes, the tier 3 tower is going to be hammered down by the creeps. Actually, not really being hammered down. If you see Keenan taking the raid again. Actually, very good play by Nocturne, giving Keenan the raid. You know, actually giving Cockmore the raid this time. You know, it is past. I think it is past that farming phase. You know, bottom lane is down. Bottom lane tower is down. Both towers are down for Manila Eagles. The top tower is down, and the middle tower is down. You know, they have the tower lead by 1, and this is how they are going to do things. This is how they are going to do everything right now. And the middle tower is almost down for MNE. This may not look very good for MNE if the entire team decides to push it.
Yeah, so MLE right now is forced to play more defensive right now. See that they're going to give up the first tier tower in the mid lane to KL Hunters right there. KL Hunters being so aggressive, the living artillery from Cockmore just randomly spilling his ghoul out and harassing the opponent champions right there. I believe they might be trying to set up for Baron.
Baron,
Oh
yes.
no, never mind. Anivia is back into the base right now. Going to go and farm bottom lane.
Alright, he has picked up his Warmox. Gonna be Anivia now very, very tanky against the entire team. He has 36 AP, but you know what? This is what Golden said. All I need is 36 AP to kill you. I don't need 100 AP. All I need is 36.
Yes, definitely. And Golden's Anivia is just fantastic. Overall play, his control, his positioning, how he catches the opponent. I'm proud to say that so far for maybe Southeast Asia side, not comparing it to Taiwan, of course. I haven't seen TBA use Anivia, but he's one of the best Anivias out there right now.
Yes, I believe I can say that as well. But you know, everyone has their opinions. Everyone has their different opinions, and you know what? I would say Golden is a very, very good player, and we see MLE gonna be attempting a push onto the top lane. Keenan now gonna be backing up. Nunu finally with the Oracle gonna be able to ward all those extra wards, and ML Rubenga gonna take a kill on, gonna take off the top tower, gonna put their tower lead in. Gonna extend their tower lead, you know, to -1 rather than -2.
Yes. And right there, right now we have seen Ipion's build his Nocturne to be a bit more tanky, less damage, and right now we can see it right there again. He has a Negaton cloak, and his Ruby Crystal most probably going to build into Aegis after this, maybe?
Right.
Or Phage?
I think he's gonna build into an Aegis of Legion. That will push up. You know, that's the best thing about majority of jungle champions. You can build with that really, really tanky build. And you know, they're actually trying to attempt onto Baron, but they're gonna spot their ward right there, which they were quite complacent to destroy it at first, and they have to move away from there. You know, they do not notice their ward.
They weren't complacent. Nunu wasn't in the position at the time. He was running to the spot.
Alright. But it's actually complacent to start without rewarding. Yes, it is complacent to do that. It's a big mistake. And now Golden's gonna finally have his blue for the second time onto the blue. I'm gonna take his blue, and he just ran out of mana to take out the blue. But you know what? No problem. My normal hits hurt.
And right there, we can see that the CS for Koki is actually higher than Kog'Maw, but Kog'Maw definitely have the kills and assist advantage right there. 4 kills, 0 death,
and he has an Infinity Edge, which is gonna put him. You know, he's gonna bring the hurt train. He's gonna bring the hurt train in onto the enemy team, onto MLE.
Yes.
So with the Infinity Edge, Kog'Maw has Koki only has a Phage and Shin. He is still lacking a Zeal and the upgrade for his Trinity Force.
And as you can see, overall for Team MLE, they are a bit more squishy. There goes the Trinity Force by Koki, by the way. They are a bit more squishy. They have no armor except for Shyvana, but it's not going to be a problem for Kog'Maw, as he does have the Bioarcane Barrage, which is going to do percentage health damage, and he's going to be able to chip down everyone else though even faster with his IE, as he's going to do, I suppose, 250 damage, I believe, right now, or 490 on other squishy mode champions like Orianna, Vladimir, Koki, and Janna itself.
Right, and we see Shyvana being caught out right there. Very, very bad movement by Shyvana, almost being killed. She has to pop her flash to get away. If not, it would have spelled I have killed the dragon. You know, the dragon bond has killed the dragon.
Yes, and right now they see the ward in the Baron, going to deboard it and force MLE to commit to the Baron. No, they actually noticed that they're actually not going to start the Baron, actually contemplating on what's going to happen here right now, or waiting for the opponent to make a specific move. I believe there goes a ball, and if you want to spot it.
Yeah, this is the good part about Orianna. Your ball is your command move. It is a ball. It's a mechanical ball.
Mechanical ball.
I'm not gonna put the plural s in there, so it sounds wrong. It's a ball.
Yes.
Not it's a ball.
Yes.
Right. It is an extra scouting tool, as well as the Anida's wall is an extra scouting tool. You know, this is why majority of this is why KL Hunters like Anivia. And you see Keenan having a very good bait on the top lane, but the extra MLE player is gonna spot this, trying to get this Baron pick up. Shyvana trying to move in, maybe for the Baron steal, and they may have the Baron steal. No, the Baron is still not down. Anivia has to walk out, and yes, MLE has the Baron steal with the smite. Very good play by Shyvana, but unfortunately you are being slain. And Keenan, very, very aggressive, moving into the enemy jungle. He has he had Ignite on him, and now he's just gonna run away. Koki trying to give chase. The rocket's gonna hit. Keenan really, really strong, and Kog'Maw the slug trying to chase up to the vampire.
And right now, Janna had a quick reaction. Kennen actually instant flash and ultimate to catch 3 of them, but Janna's ultimate pushing away, so the stun did not land on anything. Instead, it got poked back by Orianna.
Right,
He did tons of damage to him.
Yeah, I think that was they were lacking a lot of damage. They were lacking the Keenan, which would have been not if the Keenan were there, it would have been a totally different gameplay on the Baron side.
They tried to bait the opponent team to chase the Keenan down, but the opponent team sense that okay, they're definitely going for Baron right now because Keenan is pushing a bit too far, being too more aggressive. They did not take the bait. They make a wise decision and head on to the Baron instead. The other 4 team members of Vladimir was still at the bottom lane, seemingly that they took the bait and trying to bait Keenan closer.
I think Vladimir is a little frustrated right now because he actually haven't really landed a kill on the system. And majority of Vladimir is just really strong AP champion, and he's not really doing well in this game. And that will be the first MLE Dragon pickup right there. Going to put their goal lead, and they're going to put their goal lead into negative 2.9k, 2.9k right now.
Yes. And I mean the Baron did take a huge hit for KL Hunters right now. I mean even though they can output a lot of damage right now, they have the higher damage, the higher ability to survive. But I believe they're just going to play a bit safe right now, don't want to overextend because the opponent does have the Baron buff, giving them extra additional attack damage, additional ability power, as well as very high HP.
I think the main issue, the problem was Shyvana losing her Baron buff.
Yes, definitely.
I think that was the biggest hit in the MLE team. Shyvana losing that Baron buff because currently she's the only person, she's the only champion in the MLE side which is able to take on the front lead. She's able to jump in and move out very easily without dying so quickly. Now, unlike Vladimir at the moment, unlike Oriana, Corki, and Jenna, she needed her Baron buff really bad.
Yes.
And if you see on the Hunter's side, Anivia is able to move in, no problem. She has a Warmox. Keenan is able to move in, no problem. He has a Hex Drinker. Kog'Maw, different story. And Nocturne is able to create. You see, they created that wall which to wall off the enemy against Kog'Maw, and they're doing very well at it. And Shyvana now doesn't have that Baron buff. It's gonna put. This is what MLE cannot make a single mistake. Even though they have the Baron buff, they can die.
Definitely. Remember, Kog'Maw is just going to do tons of damage as well as the Bioarcane Barrage going to shoot from a safe distance. Shyvana being the only one seemingly able to charge in and push Kog'Maw away, while others are going to catch up with the buff from Oriana and the speed as well as Venomous pull to move in close, but that would definitely be a bad choice because they're going to ignore Anivia in total and going to take tons of damage from the Icicle and the ultimate slow.
Right, and we see MLE playing very aggressively, going to watch the Hunter's top jungle, and now they're just going to try to attempt a push onto the middle lane. All 5 of them are there, other than Jenna. And we see, Anivia is this type of champion where you are able to kill off creep wave very easily with your Blizzard Storm and your Icicle Ball.
It does very efficient job in doing that. Once Anivia has a blue buff, it's almost impossible to push into their base unless you dive in to make her ultimate useless.
Right. Or you can put up a CC on her. Keenan is there as well. Nocturne is there as well. I'm gonna put up his shadow, his shadow rays or something like that. I actually never got the name of his first skill. I can't really remember.
It's okay. The same for me.
Right, don't worry about that. That it does a lot of damage as well to create in a frontal wave. This is the point where it's going to be very hard for MLE to push in. And you see now KL Hunters now taking advantage of the Baron buff going off, and MLE has not taken the advantage of it, and they may suffer through this. And see Corki picking up, going to pick up Nocturne, going to catch Nocturne off, going to put him down to a very low HP. Anivia coming in to save Nocturne. Very well played there, but Nocturne had to pop his flash. Not very great play right there. Getting caught out and getting yourself to very low HP. If they had decided to dive, it would have been a big issue.
I believe they wanted to be a bit safe because they couldn't see where Kog'Maw was and did not want to suffer too much damage. Even though they might get a kill on Nocturne, but Kog'Maw might decimate the whole team.
Yeah, that's the good part about Kog'Maw. We see Keenan picking up the Phage right there, probably putting up some extra HP and probably having that Frozen Mallet. Going to be able to.
I believe it will be a Frozen Mallet. They want to be a bit more tanky overall. And with the Hex Drinker as well, he's going to tank hits, able to tank a bit more hits from Vladimir and Oriana, the double AP build, where when he's about to fall short and die soon, you get an extra shield from the defense on against the magic damage, especially against Vladimir ultimate, which takes time to happen.
Right, and we see Vladimir picking up the Chain Vest, probably going in with that Zonya Hourglass. He knows that he doesn't do a lot of damage, so he may opt with that that big tank with the Zhonya's Hourglass.
Definitely. And right now they know that Baron is going to come up soon, and they're all getting in preparations to hunt down the Baron, the worm of the game.
There's really there's two. There's just one big worm jutting out from the ground, and there's one which is walking around.
Right now they might be able to catch.
No, I think it's quite impossible to catch Jan. It's almost quite impossible to catch Janna. You know, you need to flash in unless she makes a very, very bad mistake of moving into a brush. With someone there, which it may happen, but it's highly unlikely at this moment of time.
And right now, I think Corky is going to go for last Whispers, or maybe he wants to play safe, get the extra damage from the Pig-Sets first and going for the Infinity Age right there. What do you think he's going to build?
I think he's going to build Last Whispers. That's his best bet for damage right now. You know, Last Whispers helps him with his Gatling gun. He shreds a lot of armor with his Gatling gun, and with his Last Whispers he shreds armor by percentage. You know, being able to do a lot of damage even though without the Infinity Age. And yes, he has picked up his Last Whisper. Now, if you're going to go with the Infinity Age, I would suggest that you build a BF sword first, because you know in the end you're going to be doing, you need the damage. So the BF sword would be the most expensive pickup in the Infinity Age recipe, and it would be the best first.
Yes.
Because it gives you that boost of extra 45 or 50 damage.
Let's see, Pickaxe should be...
Pickaxe is 25.
25.
I think BF sword is
45.
45. No, it can't be 60.
Oh yeah, 45 definitely.
Right, not much of an issue. Right. And see Baron now spawning up, and the goal lead is not very, very far. It's just 3.2k. KL Hunters is just 3.2k in the goal lead. You know, everyone knows that the Baron is up. You know, wards has been placed down. Everyone is just waiting for someone, and everyone's just waiting for someone to make a simple mistake. And you see Cogmore trying to farm in the mid lane. I think they're just going to try to give up Baron. Like, you know what? You can take Baron, and we are just going to take your tower. And you know what? And we know that you're going to come for your tower because it is more valuable than Baron at the moment. Even though you have Baron, we can defend you. We can defend against you. You know, with the shield. I mean, with the walls, with the blizzards, with the Nocturne first skill. You know, they have a lot of AoEs. They have a lot of area effects which are able to defend themselves. And Nivea not really in position at the moment. Not too sure why. And he's just going to move into position right now. Every team just playing very, very safe. The ward has been placed over the cliff, over the blue side forest into the, you know, trying to spot someone outside the brush.
And there goes the stun landing on Oriana, but I don't think they're going to engage right there, as it's not safe, as you can't really see where is the entire opponent team from that place. But right now everyone's just taking their chances, seeing Wimley who's going to fall short first, being juked and poked to lower life. And right now,
yes, and the stun lands on Oriana. Nocturne is gonna flash in, not flash in, ultimate it, and Keenan's ultimate gonna come up, gonna catch Vladimir off guard again. It's Vladimir again, and Nunu very, very low HP, but we're gonna fall, but double kill gonna be picked up by the slug onto Oriana and the Vladimir. And you see Corky now have to move away. Janna has to move away. That was not a very, very good engage there by MLA, making that positioning mistake. You know, I think Oriana was all to blame in that fight, getting caught by that icicle ball. Gonna be hit. Gonna get those 3 shots off the icicle of Anivia. Gonna put you down probably to half HP. You know, she doesn't have a lot of AP. She has 216 AP, but you know, it is enough to deal a lot of damage to you.
Sorry, but then I mean, Cannon actually made a better choice this time. He did not waste his ultimate in terms of charging into Janna, the back lines, instead staying in the front lines where, even though it was only one person, Vladimir at the time, and Oriana, both the squishy APs, but then he did not flash, he did not chase after Janna, where Janna might push him away again one more time, but instead landing the stun successfully this time. And the beautiful ice wall right there by Golden's actually blocking Janna.
He blocked off the backliners like Corky and Janna. And when Corky doesn't have the range, you know, he doesn't have that basic attack range, which is a big impairment to the majority of Corky players. And Corky gonna pick up that free dragon right there, gonna take the second dragon in the game, gonna help them. You know, they're just trying to salvage a situation right now. This is all what MLE can do, is to just salvage the situation as much as you can until you are able to put up another, you know, probably get a Baron and start pushing the lanes.
Yes, but I believe that KLH is going to be the more aggressive one right now, as they are in the lead and with the Baron buff. and with a lot of abilities to
And
spot the
Nunu
side.
gonna walk past the wall.
Moving back to deboard it with the ice wall from Nivea, spotting stuff, and the living artillery from Kog'Maw to of
Yes.
course spot the bush. And right now, Hagane being a bit aggressive, trying to find every single wall all around the jungle right there, and now forcing MLE to stay in their base as they cannot see anything happening right there.
Right, then MLE currently is very, very blind. If they try to move out, they are blind, which is a big issue. You see Nocturne now going to work on the tower. The wall going to block off majority of MLE, and yeah, they're just going to take this easy tower right there, and they are now just going to work on. They're going to work onto the inhibitor very easily. And Nunu very tanky, taking a lot of hits from Koki, but not able to do much. And see the hamster ball going to be placed onto Shyvana, and the ultimate from Orianna going to miss right there, and KLH Monkey going to melt. Escape very well. You see the double kill is going to be picked up by Anivia onto Orianna and onto Koki, and Shyvana there falling to Monkeys, and Vladimir falling to Kog'Maw. Very well played there by KLH, and we see the give up, the surrender from MLE, and we see KLH has taken the second. MLE has taken the second game into the area. Very well played. Very well played there by KLH. Very well.
Overall, that fight actually was a mistake of Shyvana. Actually jumping in a bit too late. I mean, they thought they had the advantage where everyone's a bit separated off, can catch the lone cannon right there. But I mean, Ivinia's ice ball already went up earlier, but they did not push in after that. They waited for quite long, about 12 more seconds after that, and Anivia's ice wall was out. When Shyvana flew in, instantly the ice wall came out, blocking a bit of Orianna, Koki, and Janna away, and then Cannon landing the ulti of Vladimir. Vladimir, I'm not sure why he did not pull. He was trying to aim down the Kog'Maw, but
he actually pulled. But you see he actually pulled, but he did not survive the Ignite and Executioner's calling. They were both placed onto him. It basically reduced his healing percentage by 50 and another stacking 50%. Basically, your healing ability is at 25% rate. So his transfusions were practically useless in a sense. You know, his revolver was practically useless. His transfusion was useless. And Shyvana moving into the enemy team. And Orianna was very slow with her ultimate. You know, he had the ball on Orianna. She had the ball on Shyvana, but it missed. In the midst of all in midst of the entire KLH, it missed.
And that is definitely one of the bad points, I suppose, that happened overall. I mean, it was such an important play right there, and it did not happen right there. The ultimate missed, and they did not fly in. So right now we're going to move on to preparation for the next game. So do stay tuned.
Right, not too sure what's going on. It's alright.
Oh, sorry.
No, sure. The next game would be Saigon Jokers against Bangkok Titans. Now, the game will be moving on at 9:05.
Okay.
And we're just going to take a peek at the score screen. The kills being picked, the kills KLH picking up 15 against MLE. Now, it was a very good play by MLE, but you know what? I think it wasn't good enough. Their plays weren't good enough, and the picks, I'm not too sure about the Vladimir and the Orianna pickup. You know, I'm not sure on the Orianna pickup right there, especially with Kaigu. He could have done better.
I mean, he did well in the early stages in terms of the CS. He was being very aggressive in pushing in lane and the creeps overall. He wasted a lot of mana in early stages to push back Anivia to the tower, being very aggressive, using up more his mana, but at the same time farming more than Anivia. I mean, he did a good play in the beginning in terms of harassing, pushing back the opponent, but overall when it came to the team fight, it seems that he was trying to be a bit too safe. He was a bit out of position, always standing too far, trying to not get caught by Anivia's stun, or even get into range of Kog'Maw.
I think his major issue was he moved out of position. I mean, he moved out of position. He did a lot of mistakes where his ball, you know, his defending, his protection, and his ultimate. That was a major thing. His ultimate missing. That spells, you know, complete waste of a team fight.
Yes, definitely. I mean, Orianna overall needs very strong micro, at the same time memorizing of the range on how far can the ball travel before it travel back. If you put it on the Shyvana and Shyvana flies too far and she move out too far, the ball will fly back to you and your ultimate is going to miss overall. I mean, that will happen sometimes even to a lot. And so right now, actually, stay tuned to us. We will be right back. Do
stay tuned. We will be right back with the second game, Saigon Jokers against Bangkok Titans. We'll be going into a short commercial break right now.
Yes.
See you in a short while.
Hey guys, this is James Rumlin with the IGN Pro League Top 5 Plays. We've got lots of great action this week, so let's cut right into number 5.
Our first play this week comes from Evil Intent as Lux with the quick laser picking up the triple kill and actually turning onto Ash with the red buff to pick up the Quadra. If we take a look at this play again, you'll see Nasus in the bottom left doesn't know what's going on, picking up the quick triple for Lux. Coming in at number 4, we have Master PB24 playing Vayne, getting caught out of position right off the bat, but he's actually going to use some fantastic micro here, kiting both the Garen and Blitzcrank with that red buff, with the tumble, dodging the hook actually, and so here he's going to pick up the first kill. The rest of his team is in position now. Great play all around, picking up the double kill. Here at number 3, we have Echo as Kog'Maw in a high elo game, going to use some fantastic positioning and micro in this fight. Here he is damaging the Yi, coming back onto Alistar, picking up the Yi kill there, switching back to Alistar once again, throwing off the ultimate for Vayne for the triple kill. What a boss Kog. At number 2, we have SK's Ocelot manning up as AP Janna, actually leaving her abilities unleveled, but then when Shyvana comes in, she quick levels the ultimate and is going to use it after the Gragas barrel. There's the Monsoon, knocking him back into the tower, flashing over Shyvana for the quick kill on the Gragas, and now the tower is tearing through Shyvana. That is absolutely disgusting. At number 1, our top play of the week, we have Calyptic as TF, and he's actually poking down the team at Dragon. There's the stun coming off, but he's not going to hit Ahri, who's going to get off the charm. Holy sh**! I have never seen a wild card hit all 3 targets, turning back onto Ash, drawing the blue card, actually going to drop down to 4 HP before he picks up the Quadra kill.
It's the biggest League of Legends event yet. The best players from around the globe are competing for the biggest prize pool in the history of esports. Announcing the Season 2 World Championship.
Riot and the entire League of Legends community have been watching Season 2 unfold, and the competition has been fierce. Early leaders like SK Gaming, CLG, TSM, and Dignitas quickly emerged, but upstarts such as MIG, World Elite, and Moscow 5 have exploded onto the scene.
I wanted to make a statement to players around the world when we committed to a multi-million-dollar prize pool. League of Legends will be an esports leader for years to come. So far, we've awarded over $1 million in prize money to teams around the globe. And one of those teams is going to walk away with the grand prize. We can't wait to see how many summoners watch the rest of this season's events. Just halfway through the season, more people are watching League of Legends than tune in to watch Major League Baseball games on ESPN.
Regional finals will come to you live from around the world. We kick off in mainland China at ChinaJoy in July, followed by Europe at Gamescom in August, North America at PAX Prime in September, Southeast Asia, Singapore and Taiwan, and wrapping up in Korea at the OnGameNet Esports Stadium. After the regional winners have been declared, the top 12 teams will then put it all on the line during the Season 2 World Championship in Los Angeles, California.
We want to show our players and the world that Riot Games is committed to elevating esports. And that's why we are raising the bar to where it belongs. This is not going to be your typical esport event. And it's all in support of the insane competition between the 2 best teams on the planet.
The Season 2 World Championship. Tickets go on sale this summer.
Welcome back to the Grinder Premier League Week 2 and Day 3 as well as Game 2 to be more specific. Sorry about just now, I got a bit tongue-tied because of a bit more thirsty, so I had to leave it to Ni to help me. So
It's as though that I am. It's like I'm your helper.
You're my wingman, you know. Okay, so by the way, I'm Teddy Sivers, joining me together is
Ni.
yeah. So I still hate how you introduce yourself. It gives me the
Why?
chills, goosebumps
It's
to my
me.
spine. Ugh. Anyway, so
Who's talking?
yes. So the next match that will be coming up later will be the Saigon Jokers against the Bangkok Titans. So this is going to be quite the anticipated match, I believe, overall. But most probably, I think everyone right now is thinking the Saigon Jokers is a stronger team overall. It did perform quite well overall throughout these few days. I mean,
Yeah, it's overall throughout the few days. Now they have been a great team to reckon with, especially with majority of the teams. They have gotten third placing in the Garena Premier League Open in Taipei. Now they proved that they are the better team. They have good teamwork skills. They have good composition. They know what to do.
yeah, the
That's the
synergy
best.
of the team is right there.
Yes, they have the strength. You see, so it's no doubt that these teams are gonna put up a very, very good fight against Bangkok Titans. You know, I'm not saying that Bangkok Titans is a weak team. They are still strong. They are strong. They are above the average players in a sense. They are great. They're still great players.
Definitely.
Let's just move into a bit of team introduction. Let's just talk on to the Saigon Jokers side. Some of you may be wondering, who's this Saigon Jokers? We have been seeing a lot of Vietnamese in our server so far. And I'm just going to state them down. And you may have seen them before. And Yang Siu on the support side. Mid lane would be Archie. Izumin on the top side. Jungle will be Egg. I always catch that name wrongly. It's like Egg. Okay. And we see Melody on the support, and Violet will be on the AD bottom lane.
Yes, and the lineup for today will be Violet, Izumin, Archie, Melody, and Egg. So, I believe it is the stronger picks, I believe. I'm not so sure.
Yes, I think Archie would be the stronger player in the game. For their team. Now, Archie has been doing very, very well, especially majority of the games, and Melody has been doing very well as well.
Yeah.
I have good faith in these two players for Saigon Jokers side. How about the Bangkok Titans side?
Yeah, so Bangkok Titans is also not a weak team. Of course, they are a pro team, so definitely they're very strong. Overall, I mean, the team is a bit new, so there'll be a lot of catching up to do to get the synergy compared to the Vietnamese team, the Saigon Jokers. So, I mean, they're going to be able to put up quite a fight. They've been training a lot. They've been screaming a lot with the Malaysian scale hunters as well. So they have been also doing quite well overall. I've seen their matches, and they have been steadily improving and becoming a stronger team. So for the Bangkok Titans, of course, for today, we're going to see it's going to be Lia to be playing Posh, Zeras, Geno, and MVM. I believe they actually made a name change without our knowledge, but I'm not so sure. So basically, as you can see, their whole team is actually labeled.
They actually have a Luis Francois.
Yes, the Luis Francois. That is
Luis
actually
Francois.
that's the best name there is, I suppose.
I'm not sure the M15 copy. It's like Maggie Cup. Like the Pokemon.
Just to move on with the top of Jungle Fleur, AD Carry or support M15 I1 copy, AD Carry Lia Sipper, top Matt, and AP AD Carry Ta. So from that, I believe they're going to have quite the setup we have to see today. So, I mean, I think both sides actually ban Lee Sin, because Lee Sin is one of their top picks for both sides. They like Lee Sin a lot overall. So right now, we're just going to move in to take a look at the game. So we're going to see which actually ban is going to be, oh, never mind, it's actually Galio and Shan. There's no Lee Sin here.
Yeah, there's no Lee Sin here. Probably
Actually
Lee Sin
quite
has,
sad.
I think because if both teams have the advantage, they have a very strong strategy built around Lee Sin, you should try to ban it first. If you are the first ban, if you are the first bans, you can actually just ban off something else, and force the enemy
definitely.
team to ban the Sin. That is the point about having the first ban. It is an advantage. It may be an advantage or it may be a disadvantage.
Yes.
You can always force the enemy to ban something they
For
may
you.
not. Yeah, something they want to ban for you, or something or something you want to pick first. So because if they make a mistake in the ban, and they still have the first pick, they're going to get it up first, and it's going to give them the advantage. Because
Definitely.
if you want to have that, as I say, if you have the strategy around the student champion, it's going to give you a big advantage in games.
And the focus overall again will be more on the AP champions, as the next band for Saigon Jokers is Morgana, and for the Bangkok Titans is Twisted Fate. Everyone seems to be a bit wary about Twisted Fate lately, as Twisted Fate has been one of the best AP mids in terms of overall ganking ability, being able to teleport down to either lane if they need help, and securing the kill no matter what happens.
And we have Nocturne being banned off by Saigon Jokers, inclusive of Morgana. Right there, it looks like the teams in GPL have been banning off a lot of AP champions. We see Taipei Assassins banning off a bit weird. Taipei Assassins have not been banning off by AP champions. They have taken off like PF, LS, Lee Sin, and Nocturne. It's still it looks very very familiar, you know, like the yesterday's thing of TSS match against Taipei Assassins, and we see Rise being banned right there at the last area that Lee Sin is open.
Yes, so will the first pick for the Saigon Jokers be Lee Sin?
Or will it be Ramus?
Definitely not Rams.
Or will it be Amumu?
Definitely not Amumu. I mean
I'm sad.
Amumu currently, even though he has received a minor buff, when he achieves his MR, he does get an increase of MR per level right now in the base stats. So he's a bit more tanky overall when he level ups, but he's a bit harder to play overall. If he goes to the jungle, he's going to be blue. He needs the blue quite frequent. Maybe sometimes if you want to be safe, you give him 2 blues before you give it to mid.
And we see the Lee Sin pick up there by SJ Violet. You see, this is the part where you have to ban, you know, they force you to ban something which you don't want to see in the MVP, but you know, they probably have to just discuss, you know, okay, do you want to see Rise? Or do you want to see Lee Sin?
Yeah, definitely. When it comes down to the last ban, it's always going to be, so which one do you want to see less, I suppose, overall. Lee Sin is a very strong champion, but he is overall, you're going to be able to counter him in many ways, in a lot of different ways, depending on what champion you use. It depends whether he's going to the jungle. And right now, for Bangkok Titans, they block in Ari and Mundo right there. So Ari going to fly around the map in a sense, and Mundo going to be doing as he pleases. Hopefully, maybe you're going to see another fantastic Mundo, just as how TPA did yesterday. Mundo is one of the strong jungle picks right now, even though he's nerfed, which is let's see, the agony, right? Sad agony. Burning agony.
Which would be his fires around here. And we see a Maokai pick up by SJ Melody. I'm not too sure whether this is a very very serious pick right here. He has CV on him. They may be playing a top Lee Sin. You know, that it also is a very viable pick. You know, Maokai is a good jungler. He ganks much better. I believe he actually has a better gank. You know,
Yes,
he lacks the damage, but it shouldn't be an issue. If your lane champions, you know, can provide that certain amount of damage, it shouldn't be an issue.
And Cassiopeia going down for the mid, most probably, I believe. But no, Cassiopeia against Ari, what do you think of this matchup?
I think it's at the point where you know, Ari is a bit very skill shot based champion other than the Firefox, and Cassiopeia is also a very skill based champion, skill shot based champion other than the Twin Fangs. But the thing is, you do not want to land your Twin Fangs without a poison on him unless you can secure a kill. You know, unless you can secure a kill next, and maybe like a Twin Fang and then a Noxious Blast. You know, you secure a kill or maybe an ulti. That's gonna do a lot of good. And we see a very rare pickup right here by Bangkok Titans. So it's very rare to see the Sheriff back in town.
Yes. Caitlyn has actually fallen short of the picks for quite some time after the release of Graves. And I'm actually happy to see her because I like Caitlyn. She has the furthest range in the beginning of the game.
We see a Varus pickup by the Saigon Jokers and the Leona. Yes, it would seem that Maokai is going to go into the jungle and Lee Sin is going to go onto the top lane. Now, Bangkok Titans have to be very careful with their top lane pick. You know, Lee Sin is a type of dominant, very dominant type of champion. In a top lane, you need to find something to be able to counter him. Now, I believe that what counters him again? I can't remember. Olaf.
Yes, I was about to.
Olaf counters.
In terms of trading hits and doing the damage in the end, Olaf will definitely counter Lee Sin.
Yes, and Pantheon.
Pantheon. But Pantheon was going to fall short in terms of overall the late game scaling. If he's going to be aggressive, they have Maokai to protect Lee Sin, and Maokai is going to.
We have a team of pickup by Bangkok Titans. You're not going to go with that range. Gonna go with that range setup against against the Saigon Jokers. You know, I say if we're not gonna be able to play a bruiser at the early start, you know, we're just gonna play something which is cute and is able to hide away from you.
Definitely. Timo is used to be one of the top picks in a sense. I forgot by who. For which team?
TSM.
TSM, where Timo with the Lantern and Mushrooms dominating top with 3 mushrooms and 3 wards, unable to be ganked with his quick move and his blind. Going to stop a lot of champions initially, but he switched to Irelia. I suppose that was just
I think it
killed my hopes.
I don't think it's a very great pick right here. Again, putting Irelia against Violet. I do not think that it's a very great pick. To be honest, you know, this Irelia, you rely a lot on your attack speed, and Lee Sin is the one thing which takes it away.
Yes.
And you have to go close to do a lot of damage. And
Lee Sin excels better at that.
yes, Lee Sin excels at moving towards you, and if
Running
you come
away.
towards him.
Yes.
Now that is where he excels a lot, and I don't think it's going to be a very, very good pickup by Backyard Titans right there.
I believe Mundo is going to babysit Aurelia a lot in the beginning.
Yes,
That
maybe.
that is the plan for
Yeah, they
them.
like to. I noticed one thing about Backyard Titans. They like to take cleanse. They have this thing with cleanse. You know?
Be
But
safe.
I think it works. You know, if it works for
Especially
them.
with Leona and Maokai, I mean, it's going to be very helpful to have the
Yeah,
plans
yeah. If
right
it
there.
works for them, you know, it works.
And-
Let's just see. Let's see various runes.
Yeah.
I'm very, a bit excited. I'm quite excited to see what Varus is doing. You know, we haven't seen. I actually haven't seen a Varus up, and we looked at his runes. He has 13 base armor, 3 attack speed, 11 physical damage, and you know, I'm not too sure. Oh, he has 3 movement speed, not attack
and
speed. 5.7 attack speed.
So gonna be full marks for attack damage and for flat armor for seals, and then attack speed for the glyphs right there. Not being so safe. Normally, a lot of people get flat magic resist, and there are 2 movement speed queens as well, with addition of 1 attack damage. AD queens right there. So this is gonna be quite the weird setup. As
I think it's an actual good setup because you know you have Caitlyn at the 650 range and Varus is at 550. It's going to be a bit issue for it's going to be quite an issue for Varus to try and hit Caitlyn unless you use that charge shot of yours, you know, or that arrow shower.
Arrow shower,
Yeah, the arrow shower of yours. If not, it's not going to do a lot of damage. I know you're not going to be doing a lot of damage to Caitlyn. You know, she's able to hit you from a very, 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 very safe distance.
yeah, but from the 3% movement speed, I'm very interested to see the masteries, whether he will take the extra additional move speed. No, but she plays safe to 21.9 instead. So, I mean, this is going to be the basic build, more attack damage, actually taking more health instead of taking a flash cooldown reduction on the utility side right there. So this is going to be a bit different. I mean, and also taking less damage from creeps instead of putting the points into the armor. I suppose it's going to be very aggressive.
Yeah, it's going to be very aggressive. And let's just take a look onto Caitlyn's runes right now. You know, I'm quite surprised to see. I'm quite excited to see what Caitlyn is packing against Varus. You know, she has cleanse, so she needs to play very, very safe, and she's able to cleanse out from that snare which Varus has.
Yeah.
And we look, she has
11 physical damage.
yeah, 11 physical damage. She has that bonus 6 lifesteal. Now it's very, very good. Very good thinking there by Caitlyn. She has a headshot,
Yes.
able to do 250%. You know, her headshot able to do 250% against damage against creeps. Able to, she's able to steal up a lot of HP, especially with just 1 Doran blade. And 150% against enemy champions.
Yeah, but I believe he will not pick the Doran blade as it's going to be a bit risky, especially since they are more aggressive build of Leona and Ravens at the bottom lane. So definitely going to be the boost 3 pots. But the extra 3% from the masteries will most probably put it to 9%. Is basically going to put her in a very good position. But I do not understand the fact of getting 11 physical damage because it's a waste of the glyph space, especially. Actually.
I don't think so because alright. The thing about Caitlyn is you need that extra damage, and you don't really need that attack speed at the early game. But it's good to have that attack speed. But you know what? She has Nunu.
I know, but I mean you should get at least the magic resist because Varus does do magic damage for his raining arrow.
Arrow shower.
The arrow shower, his ultimate as well as his
everything.
second.
Yeah, basically everything from Varus is magic resistance.
Except for the first skill.
But I can really assure you that 20 magic resistance is not going to help you a lot.
I mean, about in the early stages in terms of trading hits, sustaining as well, if he's gotten the lifesteal queens and the mastery, so I mean, in my opinion, I don't know, I just think that it's better that way. I mean, if I would put some attack damage glyphs into my masteries to make it maybe a 9 or 10, but I would save some slots for something else because I mean, if you put everything in the marks, just by marks, flat damage should be 8.5. Am I correct from there?
Yeah, it's 8 or 6.5. I can't really remember.
I remember it should be 8.5. So if you see, you're actually using 9 glyph slots to actually make it just become 11.
That is the thing, you see. I mean, there's a lot of ways to start with Caitlyn. You can start with that boost 3 pots to be very, very safe. Like, you do have that Nunu right there.
Yes.
You can start with the Doran blade and farm very, very safely. Because the thing is, you're up against a Leona. You're up against a Varus. You're up against a Leona. You need to be very, very safe. And if the Leona catches you out of position, you're gonna take so much damage right there.
I believe so too, but I mean, in my opinion, I would still stick to what I think. Okay, so right now we're just gonna move into the game. The game has begun. So let's take a look at the items. And you see, it is a boots 3-pot save style. So I don't understand why. I mean, you should just the 11 attack damage overall. I mean, it gives you a good head start, I suppose, on the 9% life steal, but and also from the masteries, it might reach to 15. But I don't. In my opinion, it's still not really that good because it's just additional 2 points. Also,
Alright, it's no problem right there. Let's just see how they play out. I mean, you can build any way you like, and it looks like
actually more fascinating than Leona. I should take a look at the items. We have a boots, single boots, and wards.
It looks like NVM is having some connectivity issues, and I'm a bit skeptical on the top lane side. You know, the game's going to go into a quick pause. The game's going to go into a quick pause. NVM is kind of like. The NVM has really disconnected. Looks like they're having a bit of connectivity issues, but that should be resolved quite quickly. You know, not much of an issue. And I'm very skeptical on the part where they pick Irelia against
Lee Sin, yeah.
Alright, they're both
strong.
They're both strong champions. You know, they're both from Ionia. You know, they're both Chinese. And you know, that's the thing about it. We know that Lee Sin is very dominant.
I should just say that. It's okay. Lee Sin will dominate no matter what because he is Bruce Lee Sin, and Bruce Lee owns everything, even Chuck Norris.
No, Chuck Norris owns everything.
No, Chuck Norris jokes will lose to a single Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee is just overpowered and OP overall. So right now we're just gonna move back to the game. From this, everything has been resolved. So let's take a look. And Maokai actually starting at the Wolves instead of starting at the Wolves instead of the Wraiths. So most probably going to be a bit more safe. Don't want to venture too far. Don't want to let opponents counter.
I think the main issue about starting in Wraiths is you can, but you are actually putting yourself away from the blue, and you need to be at this certain distance from the Wraith to gain, to gain EXP.
Yes.
So if you're going to start at a Wolf, you'll be able to take the blue very, very easily. You know, those sapling toss is going to be, it's going to make it just.
Overall leveling, if I'm not wrong, if you take the Wraiths first, then to blue, then to Wolf, then the Wraiths will spawn out, and you take the Wraiths, you should reach level 3 by then, and they will give all your skills level 1.
I think it shouldn't matter at all. Maybe with the sapling and the twisted advance alone is enough to get.
I mean, of course, you definitely want to add the additional slow from the fist. And Leona taking a lot of damage from that. I'm not sure why though, but right now Lee Sin is actually helping Maokai do a hard leash right there, and he's going to move back soon, I believe.
It looks like it looks like he's trying to go with a no smite blue. And does he go to no? Actually, yeah, he's not. He's going to go with a no smite blue. Very well played there by Saigon Jokers. You know, he saved it. Actually, your lizard is still out, man.
Yeah, and so from there, as you can see, Leona actually went back to base because she took much hits from that fail pull on the golem, so putting Ravus in a dangerous position. But Nunu and Katie not taking advantage of that, being aggressive right now. Top gang
happens top gang happens, and the Burgundy Agony comes up of Mundo. The cleaver gonna land on Lee Sin. Now Lee Sin now taking a lot of damage, but you know he doesn't need to flash away. He knows he's able to survive this. And you know I think this is the only way which Irelia is able to farm very, very safely, especially against the Lee Sin. You know, you need that constant ganks, but you know, Twisted with the our very own tree is at the rate right now. You know, it may spell it, but the enemy team is being pushed back very hard. And you see Lee Sin back now with a lot more HP. He's going to be able to come back with the farm. Yeah,
however, he's used up 2 pots from that, I believe, and Irelia still has 3 pots. So Irelia still overall going to have a better farm and more safe way of playing, as she can now be a bit more aggressive, trade the hits, chip Lee Sin down slowly, and heal up with the health pots right there. So right now, gang is going to happen in mid maybe by Mundo. No, but Mundo just going to go and kill the jungle.
Twisted, our tree is going to come into the bottom lane, but you know, the enemy team is just too far back. You know, he's not able to do anything. He's just going to fall back to his golems. His golems will spawn. And we see Lee Sin going to be chipping away from the feet of Irelia's HP. But the problem about Irelia is you really depend on a lot of levels. You know, your hit and style, I think hit and style.
Yes.
Your hit and style, you really depend on a lot of level because of your hit and style. The more levels your hit and style have, the more HP you steal back, especially when you activate it, you steal double of the amount which is not activated. And you see getting Leona getting the snare from Caitlyn. Actually, this is the good part about Caitlyn. You're able to counter a lot of ganks with the traps.
Proper placement of traps.
Yeah, the Yordle traps. The Yordle trap. Yeah, it is called a Yordle snap trap. And we see a gank coming on to Nunu. Not a lot of damage being taken by Caitlyn right there, but a lot more damage being taken by Varus. So Varus have to fall back a bit, but Nunu has taken more damage than anyone
But
of
Nunu
them.
will have no problem recovering back just by eating something.
Yeah, but does he have that skill in him?
Yes.
You know, it's a very big risk because if you do consume early game, you are pushing your lane, and that may not be a very, very good sign. You know, Leona now just being dumbfounded. You know, Leona very, very dumbfounded right now because not many ganks. She's not able to do a lot. Caitlyn will be able to farm from a very, very safe distance.
Definitely.
And Leona is just going to be like, you know what, this is so frustrating. And I'm not too sure what the skill name is. I'm just going to call it the the Super Saiyan Blade. The Super Saiyan Blade just going to miss right there. Not going to be able to catch Caitlyn. Not a very great idea to throw your blade off at the furthest range.
And he might pull her close to the tower.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
know, try with that ganks or maybe.
And right now, this is being a bit too aggressive, pushing too far right there. Gonna get caught by Mundo Aurelia. There
Yes,
goes
he
a
has to
flash.
throw his flash up. And no, Mundo got to flash in as well. Going to get another cleaver to the face. And the first blood goes to Aurelia. Very, very well played right there by Bangkok Titans. But you know what? The goal difference is not any different. Even though with that first blood pickup. But you know, very, very great play there by Bangkok Titans, taking out their first blood. You know, Aurelia now can farm much safer than before.
I mean, but to get that first blood, actually use up the flash, the ignite all together, all in one.
I think it's worth it.
You think it's worth it?
I think it's worth it because it's the thing about top lane is when you start losing in terms of kills and in terms of money, it's gonna be very, very devastating compared to the mid
Compared to
lane.
other
You know,
lanes.
compared to the mid lane, compared to the bottom lane, the top lane is very, very devastating because you know majority of top lane champions are tanky.
And then goes the gank happening in the middle. Ari missing the
And
charm right
not
there.
a
The-
very great idea to move forward. And not Ari very smart. Gonna fly backwards. You know, if she's gonna get caught by that twisted advance, she's definitely gonna get stoned by Cassiopeia.
So right now, it's still at the trade of 1 kill lead in terms for Bangkok Titans, but everything so far is moving very slowly. I really gonna ignore this right there. Gonna just continue farming and trade some hits right there, opening the hit and style, doing a
Lot of damage, you
a
know.
lot of damage
Great
right there.
pickup, but great pickup there with the Doran Blade. Gonna be able to do a lot of damage onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin now have 2 Doran Blades, but you know he's not able to do a lot of damage, especially with the hit 10 style being doing true damage towards you. You know, and healing from there is not a great idea to take on an Aurelia when hit 10 style up. The best bet you can actually do is wait for his hit 10 style to go off, and you see a lot of damage. And Lee Sin, not sure what is he doing. Gonna kick. I'm not gonna put a flying kick back. You know, I know you are. Like you say, you are Bruce Lee, but you know you are certainly no Chuck Norris.
So right now, actually, bot lane, Varus is winning the overall farm as they know that Leona can be very aggressive with the early boots right there. But they're gonna fall back to buy items right now. So Caitlyn and Luna as well, as they know that it's gonna be right now the creeps are both pushing. Oh, they're actually gonna continue farming on that.
We see Cassiopeia coming in very, very sneakily, trying to probably spot someone, and she knows that he's being spotted while Mundo is trying to take the raid. You know, Mundo now in a very, very safe position. Ari that's going to try and cut off Cassiopeia, and looks like both of them are just not going to do anything. They're just going to say hi to each other. Hi, hi. We are both animals, a sort of animals. Okay, Cassiopeia is a reptile, but
just something.
Yeah, Ari is as cold-blooded as Ari's
no,
story
she's a
back.
QB, a nine-tailed fox.
Yeah, but she is as
she had human souls or hearts.
Yeah, she eats humans' hearts or souls, so something like that.
Oh, right now they're gonna actually gang.
Alright, a gang onto Cassiopeia. Finally, the charm lands, and Ari gonna get stoned right there. Not a very great play there by Ari. Gonna be baited into the enemy blue, and Izumin has picked up the kill onto Posh. Now Mundo knows he cannot move that way, and you see Mundo probably gonna get killed right here if he's able to dodge a reckoning shot and a resonating shot, and not a lot of damage. And we see Mundo now with the last hit gonna get slapped there by the tree. And Mundo goes down for the second kill, and for the third kill pick up by Saigon Jokers.
I believe it's a good job done by Lee Sin, even though Aurelia was in a 1k advantage. She actually managed to somehow bait her. I'm not sure what happened at all, but land the kill instead. And right there, taking Aurelia down and helping Maokai get the kill onto Mundo right there.
And we see the Barris has picked up 3 Doran Blades. It's gonna be doing a lot of damage. He's probably like, Leona can't really catch anything at the moment, you know, because I have a 650 range. I'm playing against someone who has 650 range, and we see they are going to get the blue right there, going to get the steal on the blue. Not too sure who has the blue, and Mundo going to go down very, very easily to that 4-man gang. Not very well played, right there, you know.
Yes.
Caitlyn, the problem about Caitlyn is she lacks a lot of early damage, you know, she relies a lot on those basic hits, where, those headshots, those basic hits, unlike Varus, you know, you have that really early burst, you know, and I believe that the champion selection style for AD carry has always gone for that really bursty type AD champions. And Caitlyn gonna come in with the pit over Peacemaker, not gonna hit anything, and this is gonna throw her net. She's gonna put her caliber net out, gonna safely escape from there. And we see Leona very low HP. She could have gotten killed if Caitlyn had the vision on her, and if there's no one to block the shot.
Definitely. So right now the goalie is on Saigon Jokers, even though Bangkok Titans seemingly have the initial lead right there, and it's about 3k, almost somewhere there, close to 2.1k. And right now Lee Sin got the catch, Irida pushing too far right there. The stun goes down, Irida, but Irida's going to trade hits right there, the slow going down from Lee Sin, and going to take down a lot of life from Irida. Irida knowingly that she cannot win is going to fall back right there and going to go back to the base.
Yeah, this is a big issue. This is why I'm very skeptical about putting an Irelia against a Lee Sin at the top lane. Alright, you may have the late game advantage, but you know, it is no point having a late game advantage if you cannot get your early game up. Especially when you're against someone which is really dominant. You know, it's gonna be a big issue.
Yes, especially after trading hits. I mean, even though you are able to game max on life, but so is Lee Sin under his Iron Will, and the percentage is actually much higher since now he has the 2 Doran Blades and 1 Vampiric Scepter over the Lancer.
Does the Iron Will stack through AD now? Or does it still stack through Magic? Previously, Iron Will is stacked Iron Will Shield. Your percentage, the higher shield rating stacks to your...
Probably take us a good kill by Ari
and Cassiopeia stoning gaze, gonna miss right there. Very well played by Ari. Gonna get that kill finally onto Cassiopeia, and you know they're just gonna work onto the Maokai. Maokai taking an Orb of Deception through and fro. Gonna be put down a lot of HP. And we see that Ari is gonna go with that Orb of Deception, you know, the first Orb of Deception build. Maybe quite a good build, but you know, I still think that Foxfire build is still better. And I really am gonna call out the ultimate. Very low HP there by Izumin. Porsche gonna pick up the kill onto Lee Sin. Very well played there by Irelia, you know, baiting the Lee Sin. He thinks, making him think that, I'm gonna survive this. No, yes. Lee Sin is gonna go down. Like how you're not gonna punch anybody in the way of the dragon. Or is it the mouth of the dragon? No, I can't remember what show he acted in. Be water, but you're not this time. You're not really water. You're kind of good.
Anyway, so right now the game is going to a bit stalemate, but the Dragon Goat is very obvious.
Let's see the ultimate. I'm not too sure why Caitlyn flashed in front of.
Right there.
Yeah, there may be click. I think not really. Not too sure what Caitlyn is actually doing. But you flash in front of an enemy and then you pick clans. Okay.
You pop clans and flash in. You pick the both items to Caitlyn right there. Mundo gonna get caught by Cassiopeia right here. His magic resist not high enough. The Ignite goes down. His ultimate is not gonna be able to save him.
Right, the Noxian Blast barely hits Mundo. Very well played. And you know the last Noxian Blast gonna hit the Twin Fang. Gonna land right there. Yeah, at the maximum rate. Gonna land the Twin Fang. Gonna get the kill onto Mundo, putting the kill lead onto 1. And we see, Leona has been having quite a bad series of gangs at the moment. You know, it's not really great for Leona, and it's not really great for Varus. You know, this combo is just not working out. I think Varus trying to get a kill onto Caitlyn. Caitlyn taking a lot of damage from the burst. The kill over Peacemaker not doing a lot of damage. And we see she only has 1 Doran Blade compared to Varus. He has 3 Doran Blades.
Right there, Mundo getting caught by Cassiopeia and Maokai. Instead going to burst him down right there. Now moving on to Caitlyn, most probably.
Caitlyn is not going to be able to escape from this. You know, the Sheriff's in town, but you know, the Mundo's out. The Sheriff's not going to be in town for this moment, and Mundo, the doctor, is not in
to save
the day. Yeah, and they're gonna pick up this free dragon kill, which is gonna come up quite soon. Lee Sin, Irelia has picked up a Ninja Tab. He's gonna be able to tank it, and we see a very aggressive play there by Ari, but not enough. You know, you're just gonna dash into Cassiopeia. Not a very great idea, even though you are female, but you know you're just gonna get stoned.
I mean, that was actually a bad move by Ari. I mean, she tried to dodge the ultimate, but I mean, I believe that she She
I didn't
was.
say Aurelia, I just said Focus. Oh, she's supposed to be Focus, yeah.
Oh, she's like, I wasn't.
I think I said Aurelia. I'm going to dash into Aurelia.
And like, also, Aurelia going to take the top tower from there, seeing that Lee Sin was in middle, going to try to put the goal difference a bit closer right there. Mundo going to push the lane for the mid right now before Kesobe comes back. Mamakai comes in to clear the creep as well. Right now, Mundo is going to prepare for the blue. Nuno is also going to try and cover that, waiting for Ari to come out of the base. So I wonder whether Maokai and Kesobe is going to try to steal the blue again, but right now, as it seems, yes, Maokai is actually going to try to move towards the blue right there, going to try to ward it, and Mundo knows something's going to happen, plants a wand. Oh, that's not his ward, that's...
Yeah, that's the enemy ward.
Yeah,
It looks like Bengal Titans is being pushed back by Saigon Jokers very, very well. You know, they have the map advantage right there, even though they just have a lot of wards. But, you know, Maokai is just very Maokai is a really, really big problem. And the smite steal by Maokai, you know, sorry Fox. They are not going to be taking the blue golem this time. The tree is going to be having it with a ho.
Overall, Bangkok Titans has been playing quite well overall, but losing in terms of strategy and timing of what's happening overall in the map. They lost the blue buff twice, I believe. The dragon will be twice as well.
Yeah, and looks like they are also losing in CS. We have Varus on 142. We have Kaylin on 116. Not very well played there, but I think Kaylin is going to pick up a Bloodthirster very soon. I do not think that this Bloodthirster would be the way to play right now, Kaylin. You need an Infinity Age.
Yes, you need to gain the extra damage onto Varus, as Varus is currently dealing tons of damage through his proc on his passive W, which after
his blighted arrows.
His blighted arrows, after it hits three stacks on you, and you're gonna get hit by the skill, you get a percentage health damage right there. And see right now, there goes the damage, there goes the health going down.
And the snare gonna come out. Leona's ultimate gonna miss right there, but you know the cleanse is just not enough to take you away from Varus. Varus very strong against Kaylin. You know, Kaylin just relies a lot on normal hits, and that's not gonna be enough. But I think if they had stopped off Caitlyn with Graves, it would have been a very different gameplay, you know. If you're gonna come close to me, I'm just gonna throw a collateral damage, you know, just a big burning ball of explosive into your face, and you're just gonna blow up.
Right now, the for the AD picks is gonna be either high burst damage or further range of focus.
But you know what, it's also a fact that, you know, Common still has a higher burst compared to Caitlyn.
Definitely, because it doesn't need that much items, but it's still being able to do extra damage for his Bio Arcane Rush on the percentage damage.
Right, and also his living artillery, don't forget that. His living artillery having
there
so
goes
much
Maokai trigger sadly stopping Mundo for teleporting back to the base right there.
Not unfortunately for you, Mundo. You know, the Bangkok Titans is now losing in 5k in the 5k goal. They're not in the negative 5k goal lead. It's not looking very good right here. Varus has picked up his BF sword, and you know Caitlyn is lacking one Dora's blade damage away from Varus. They both have 11 damage if I'm correct. They both have 11 damage, but you know Varus still has more. He still has more skill damage compared to Caitlyn. You know, Caitlyn is just that Yordo Snap Trap, Caliber Net, which you know you don't use Caliber Net to actually do damage. You use it to escape, and the crit over Peacemaker is just something so easily avoided.
I mean, overall, it forces people doing some team fights to move in a separate direction, gaining some time. But overall, right now, it's not having actually a good effect.
Yeah, it looks like Maokai is not really happy, and Mundo is rewarding the entire way. They're gonna come in and you're gonna punch Mundo in the face one time, but not doing a lot of damage. It's like, I'm not really happy that you're actually rewarding me. I'm gonna punch you in the face, but actually I'm gonna walk away after that.
I'm just gonna show you I'm mad, give you a slap,
yeah,
and
like,
go back.
Bro, what you doing, bro? What you doing that, bro?
Right now, the only lane that's doing better so far, not losing that much, would definitely have to be the top lane in terms of number of CS as well as number of kills. But overall, for Saigon Jokers, the kills, the CS of the overall team in the mid, even in the jungle as well as bottom, is actually quite far ahead. Right now, Mundo is right there.
Lulu gonna get snared, and he's gonna get the 10-second snare from Leona, but you know, Ari gonna come in with the support. Now Maokai is very far into enemy territory. I'm not too sure why you're gonna just go focus on Leona when Maokai is just right there for the picking of Maokai. Very easy. It's like, guys, I'm here. Why you still aiming my support? I'm just gonna walk around. You know, I'm just gonna walk away very easily. And the stone gonna hit a lot of people. Gonna go hit, actually 3 champions. Ari getting stoned, Nunu getting stoned. Not too sure. Mundo gonna get a shutdown on Cassiopeia, but Cassiopeia picking up the triple kill on the Bangkok Titans. Very well played there by Cassiopeia. Well spent, life well spent.
Life well spent. And right now, the only you can see only dominating right now will be Irelia at top, winning against the DC right there. But it's not being able to do too much in team fights overall, as you can see. Her items is winning in terms of lane, but in terms of team fight, she's currently not tanky enough to take the massive damage and CC from Leona and Varus. And Maokai, I suppose he was ignored, which is actually, in a sense, a good choice right now, as Maokai doesn't really do damage.
No, it's a bad idea. Previously, they could have ignored the Leona. You know, Leona is on 2. Leona is on 2 assists and 1 death, while Maokai is on 2 kills. Obviously, you know, you get more gold killing Maokai rather than to Leona. You know, assists don't grant you extra gold pickup. And the stun gonna go on to Leona. Gonna get kicked away from the face, but you're not gonna save you right there, Blind Monk.
And she saved the Irelia right there.
He saved the Irelia. Unfortunately, not a very great play by the Blind Monk. Probably blinded. He's quite blind towards that strategy right there. Not a very great play. But you know what, very good. But it's a good play by Izu. What's his name? Posh. Good play there by Posh. Gonna pick up the kill on to the same.
Right now, finally, I mean, Ahri getting the blue right there. Wow, I almost said Irelia.
Yeah,
Maybe
Irelia.
influencing me. Anyway, so Irelia finally getting her first blue of the game, I believe. Right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a first blue of the game, rather being stolen by everyone else. Very unfortunately for you, Ari, you know, you're not able to seduce anyone into this gameplay. I see Cassiopeia with the 6 kill 3 death, got to pick up that Wheel of Ancient and the BF sword very early into the game. 20 minutes, very well played.
You just said Wheel of Ancient and BF sword.
I said BF sword. Alright,
Alright,
it's a needlessly large rod. Alright, it's a needlessly large rod. Right, you know what? It's no problem. You can actually pick up a BF sword. What's yeah, you can poke Ari down. Yeah, you stone her and then you just try to poke her down. You know, snake to the face.
Snake to the face. Okay, right here, a gank might happen at bot maybe. The 4 are getting in the middle there. Ari taking the lead or just waiting for Cassiopeia to come over as they believe. I think they have the dragon timer. They know that Maokai Cassiopeia is going to move to the dragon soon. All they're just going to try to see whether something happens, and right now they instead choose to move to the bottom lane as no one has come into the bush. And
alright, Mundo has popped his Mundo has popped his ulti. He's gonna lead the charge right there. We're gonna get everyone else gonna get stunned, you know, for a while, and everyone gonna get stunned, and Melody gonna take 1 for the team, and we see Varus trying to escape. I'm not too sure why ultimate has been up, but it's being used by Ari right there just to kill 1 Leona. You have 4 guys, you know. I mean, yeah, this is a big issue. I think Leona is the type of champion which you have really a global taunt. You know, you just go into the enemy team and you just start taunting them. You can do
all the armor,
you know, I have a lot of the armor, you should hit me first. You know. And it works.
Anyway, they're going to most probably be able to take down the mid tower right here. They use up most of their skills on that Leona right there. So
it goes to free tower. You know, you got to spend every single one of your ultimates. You know, you can spend a lot of your skills. Not a very great play by Bangkok Titans. You know, not using your skills very tactically, especially with this one. You know, let's just kill a champ. Let's try to focus down Leona when she doesn't have an oracle.
And right now, the goal difference is usually about 8k right there, putting Saigon Jokers in a huge lead. It's going to be quite hard for Bangkok Titans to catch up from this. And right there,
looks like we have...
there goes the catch inside the bus, catching Ari right there.
Ari just want to burn right there, right? The stone gate's going to hit the water. And no one's going to get stoned right there, other than the stones, which are already stones.
Definitely, that was a mistake by Cassiopeia, thinking that we wanted to avoid Ari from escaping, but she died.
There was so much damage done there by Varus with the ultimate, you know, with the proc on the critical strikes. You know, he has a lot of damage at the moment. Nothing can stop Varus. You know, Bangkok Titans have to find something to fight back. If not, they will lose this game very easily.
And so in a sense, Varus would be the new Vayne in terms of proccing special extra damage through 3 hits, hit procs with skills instead, and also the skills does tons of damage where Vayne actually just needs to slowly attack and poke people down with Tumble. I mean, Varus in a sense is supposed to be the new Vayne, and it's going to be quite a hot pick, I suppose, overall, as he can do tons of damage, slow the opponent, and she's able to snare a whole team. They stay close enough or they fight in a choke.
Alright, now we see a very different pickup there, you know, by the top lane by the top lane players. You know, Lee Sin has opted to go very high with a high damage type burst, and Irelia has picked up a frozen melee. Gonna go with that really tanky build. You know, she knows that Mundo currently is not able to do that. He's not able to do that tanky because he's just being melted all the time.
Yeah.
As in Mundo is going to be fighting against Cassiopeia. Well, Cassiopeia is so strong. The jump going to hit on Cassiopeia, and Cassiopeia almost falls right there, but going to be pushed back, and Cassiopeia is going to escape very easily with lost HP. Shurela going to point, and Ari is going to get caught right there. He has to flash away. The flash comes out both. The sword for the Super Saiyan sword on Leona. Yeah, he was going to call it Super Saiyan sword, and now the exhaust has gone onto Irelia. Now this is going to tower dive onto Irelia. You know, they just don't bother about the tower. Maokai, yes, he is like a tree. Yes, he is a tree. But, you know, he's just going to be able to be. He's just so tanky. You know, he took like 4 tower shots, and it doesn't really bring out a lot of HP of his. And now they're just going to work onto the Baron very, very easily right there. Mundo, Mundo. Probably not having his certificates, not having enough certificates for his doctorate, not going to be able to do a lot right there.
But his smite is up and ready. Will he try to charge in and do a smite steal? No, actually,
nope, they're not going to do a smite steal. Everything Mundo is actually not there. Mundo's in the middle tower, you know, this is probably like, let's just try and salvage the situation. You know,
Killing will push the second tower at the bottom lane. Right there, going to try to salvage the situation in terms of the gold loss, trying to build up as much gold possible by taking down those towers right there. So, Kalin's going to fall back right now. Worried is going to get ganked. Actually use the Caliban net to fly right past, going back to the close to the first tier tower, and recalling back to base. And she did get the IE, not the blood.
Yeah, it's finally. You know, I think it is great. It's a better pick to get the IE, but you know, it's at the 25-minute mark when you picked up your IE. When you picked up the IE, and Varus is already at his Phantom Dancer. And it doesn't really look good. It doesn't really look good for the enemy team. It doesn't look good for Bangkok Titans right now. You know, Varus is just good. He has a lot of damage. They have 2 Shurelas. Maokai is just so tanky with the Frozen Shroud and the Aegis of Legion. Lee Sin has a lot of damage with his Bloodthirster and his Phage. Probably going to build into the Brutalizer very, very soon. And Cassiopeia has that Rabadon's Death Cap. Unlike Ari.
Sorry to cut you, but I don't believe he's building a Brutalizer because he actually has Last Whisper.
Oh, no, he builds a Last Whisper. You know, he builds up into maybe not going to build into Brutalizer. I'm just going to build to something much more stronger.
Yes.
I think maybe I'm just talking too much, but everyone's just going to go sleep. You know, I just want to say it. Right? Just going to write boom, my fault, isn't it?
Boom, no. Anyway, so overall right now, the goal lead is actually very far. It's going to be quite impossible for Bangkok Titans to catch up, and they get a Baron and they get an ace and no one dies. They'll definitely be able to pull the.
I think they need. I think Bangkok Titans need to pull off a very, very good engage onto the enemy team. They need to cut off. They need to cut off Varus from Leona. That will be their key to winning, and they have to cut off Cassiopeia from Maokai.
And right there, Maokai actually being a very different build, want to be as mobile as Mundo, bringing the boost of mobility in the early stages, running through everything, trying to most probably try to catch Ari at the same time. Right now, most probably a team fight is going to occur because are they going to try and protect the tower or are they going to give it up?
I think they may have to give it up. You know, Varus has a lot of attack damage. The tower is now at a quarter HP. Mundo being pushed back by the Noxian Blood. Varus is going to come in. You know, I'm just going to take a few hits right there. But no problem. Leona going like a boss, leading a charge right there. Maokai take a pit over Peacemaker to the face, but not a lot of damage. You see, Bangkok Titans just cannot stop this push. They have the Baron Bush, and there's nothing much they can do right now. Bangkok Titans, Saigon Jokers have the advantage. They can push into the inhibitor and end the game instantly. But I'm not. This is a very strong trade by the Saigon Jokers. They have the advantage, and they're going to walk back to base, buy up, and lose the advantage in the mid game, and probably wait for another 10 minutes to get the advantage again. This is a very, very common trade by Saigon Jokers.
I mean, they will try to play safe, like they're going to go down slowly, take their time, sit down and push the mid inhibitor now to
true. Do you remember the Saigon Jokers games against KL Hunters? You know, they had the advantage. They had a lot of advantage to push in. And I think we have to go back because we have the advantage. I'm just going to go back by the way.
Take it up slowly.
Yeah, take it up slowly at 40-minute mark. Or at 60-minute mark. You know, it's like
like the previous game, they hit 85 minutes for KL Hunters against Cyclones.
Yes, actually 79 minutes to fight. And we see that this may be the last stand for Bangkok Titans. The next push. You see there, they're just going to go back. You know what, no problem. We're just going to go back and wait for our Baron buff. Yeah, wait for our Baron buff to go off. Then
take the Dragon, take the Baron buff, and then come back to push in the base fighter game one last time.
Yeah, and that will be, that it's just taking their time. They're just going to take their time, and you know what, this is what I really don't like about Saigon Jokers. They just go in like, we have the advantage. Let's take our time. We have all the advantage in the world. Let's take our time.
It's not really taking their time, but I mean, They just want to make it a safe victory, I suppose. Most of
I
the
think
time,
that
it's
was
that way.
really safe. They could have won that right there. I mean, I'm gonna ask the viewers, you know, if they would have engaged in the bottom tower area, do you think Bangkok Titans would have won the fight? Because they had the advantage. Maokai was already in front, Virus was behind. They had the advantage right there, you know. They did at the bottom side, they're just gonna hit, they're just gonna take maximum one tower is gonna hit them. You know, and Varus is just gonna melt everyone else down.
And with Lee Sin's ultimate, is going to be able to save Varus no matter what. With Leona standing in front, no problem at all. Right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I say. This is what I do not. This is the thing about Saigon Jokers. It's like, hey, we have advantage. Let's give it away.
I mean, it is staged right now for this match. It's really hard to give away the advantage right now. As they're all quite angry, and they've been devoting everything successfully.
Oh, they're just gonna try and push down all the towers, you know.
They're gonna actually push down all inhibitors, make it safe, where everything is
They are safe. I mean, they are safe already. You know, this is the thing. Now they're just gonna push into the top lane, and you see, guys, you know, you need to engage someday, today, you know, maybe tomorrow afternoon, you know, evening, I'm not too sure. But you know, sometime today would be nice. And finally, Lee Sin gonna be the one gonna initiate, taking a dragon kick into the face. Mundo dropping a lot of HP. Resonating strike almost hit on Mundo. As if they didn't hit the Baron buff of that. And if he had the Baron buff, Mundo was already dead. Yes, see, that was the thing. And, you know, this is the thing about Saigon Jokers. Like, hey, let's get the Baron buff. Let's just wait it out and get an advantage.
Right now, okay, you'll be happy right now that she's gonna add the game. Oh, then Leona actually misses ultimate, gonna get killed right there, charging in. And right now, Nuno actually flashing out to catch Maokai.
Now Barrett's gonna work his way onto Nuno, now gonna work his way onto Caitlyn. Barrett is just so strong, now gonna work his way onto Leona. You know, Irene, other than no problem. I'm gonna take everything. And not Ari now just gonna move on. But the tower gonna save Ari right there, but not gonna save you from Lee Sin. Lee Sin gonna score a few hits with the red buff. Now Ari's not gonna be able to escape that, and the ace is gotten by Saigon Joker. Now this is the thing, you see, they could have gotten that earlier, but they just decided, let's just push all three towers.
Of course, I mean,
Let's just push all three towers.
well, I don't know. I mean, I understand their thoughts, I suppose. I mean, they just want to confirm 100% win or usual, you know. Some people just...
Some men will just want to watch the world burn.
I suppose, in a sense.
Also, some men just want to give away their advantages.
I mean, it's quite hard for them to give away the advantage that game, but against the KL Hunters, they did give away
They gave away advantage. 5. You know, there were 6 areas where they could have won instantaneously. I mean, they could have won instantaneously at 6 different areas. And you know, they just say, I think we should go back now.
We should be very safe. Take
yeah,
our
we
time.
should be very, very, very safe. Let's just wait here.
And see what's going to happen next. Let's
Oh
see
wait, our Baron buff. Oh wait, our Baron buff is off. Let's go back now. We have to go back because we've been staying around. And you know, let's go on to the score screen. 22 kills picked up by Saigon Jokers against Bangkok Titans, putting them in the lead. 33 assists, and you know, not a lot of scores on the Bangkok Titans. Not a lot of scores on the Bangkok Titans side. Just 10 kills, 22 deaths, and 16 assists.
Oh, Leona's goal is a bit disappointing. I should take a look at the runes most probably. I don't think she has goal per 5 runes, cause her goal gain is actually quite low, even though she did have the early
I think it's alright. I think it's alright. I think Leona's goal gain is actually alright because you know, as Leona, you don't really need a lot. To be honest, you don't need a lot of goal gain for Leona. You want that early armor, you want that early movement speed to do, you know, those gangs.
This gang, the gangs
at
the bottom.
Not the gangs, the engages.
Yes, the early engages.
Yes, you want to engage very, very fast. But you know what? It's a Nunu and it's a Caitlyn. You're not going to be able to do a lot right there.
And overall, if you look at the levels, only Irelia in the Bangkok Titans is at level 17 and everyone's actually under-leveled right there.
Yeah, very under-leveled. Ari is level 16, right? You know what? Not really a lot. Nunu shares the same level as Leona probably because everyone just decides to blow their ulti on Leona. Maybe this is the point where you... This is a point where, you know, if you blow your skills needlessly, you are going to lose a lot of advantage.
Yes,
you're going to lose a lot of advantage in defending. You're going to lose a lot of advantage in actually trying to go offensive. You're going to lose advantage trying to take major objectives. See, this is where, all these type of things count. You see, if you're going to blow 4 ultimates on a support, make sure it's worth it.
That she has the Oracle on, you know, actually taking down that
maybe
400.
an Oracle or maybe a Janna, which you know, which really blows everyone away.
Yeah.
Not a Leona, you know. And she's just like, okay, you guys are gonna waste ultimate on me. My job well done.
Well,
if I'm playing a support and if 5 guys are gonna use their ultimates just to kill me and one guy, I'm just gonna say your job well done. You just wasted all your ultimates on me. My four of my members still have their ultimates. Gonna come in and take all of you out. No problem.
I mean, I suppose BKT was just hungry for the kill, hungry for the goal. Even though because they were falling quite far behind, they just wanted to say, let's just get this kill no matter what. Boost up the morale. I mean, overall in this kind of games, when it's a 5v5, the morale overall of the team is very important. Like when the first blood does happen, and if a double kill early game happens, it's gonna pull down the whole team's morale quite a bit. It's gonna put them in the losing position overall.
It's true. This is where if you are a team leader, if you have a team, you are a team leader. It is your job to keep your team's morale up at all times. It may not occur to majority of players that morale is a factor, but it is actually the biggest factor in all your games. It governs it governs your winning rate and it governs your losing rate. The lower morale you have, if you have basically low morale, everyone's just they're just gonna do it because they need to do it. It's just not gonna work out.
Like for esports, it's actually the same as any type of sports. If your team's morale, your team spirit is not there, you're definitely gonna lose out a lot. Like sometimes you can see basketball players or baseball players that perform very strong, they perform very well, but during certain games they are unable to perform. They have to be taken out because they know that they're not informed. There's a form rating.
They're not informed. They don't have their
Yes.
they don't have their that thing,
that feel,
that super saiyan
feel.
I just like the Leona Super Saiyan Blade. Never miss.
Never miss. So right there, yeah. So we're gonna take a look at the next week's schedule. I hope you enjoyed these Switch matchups. Right there, they're all very interesting. I mean, all teams did do very well. I mean, some of the weird things did happen, but they did work out for each team. So as you can see, from June 1st, the game 1 will be something I suppose anticipated, where Singapore Sentinels will be fighting against KL Hunters, which is one of the anticipated match because Singapore and KL have always been fighting
at each other, just fist banging right there, just fist banging.
Yeah, and for the game 2 will be Taipei Assassins against Bangkok Titans. It's going to be something that all of you want to try to take a look out because Taipei Assassins always have the very different build style and champion selections there. And for
you always learn, and you always see something very, very different from Taipei Assassins.
And for June 2nd, the game 1 will be 8 p.m. will be Manila Eagles versus Saigon Jokers. Going to be something interesting to see as well. And for game 2, 9 p.m. against Singapore Sentinels against the Bangkok Titans. And June 3, Saigon Jokers versus the KL Hunters. In game 2, Manila Eagles. I can't actually see that because my head's blocking it. But it's okay, don't worry, we'll throw the schedule up later. And I do hope you all continue to stay tuned to our Garena Premier League next week from Friday to Sunday night. And I'm Teddy Tibus.
And I'm Nee.
And we're going to say goodbye right now, over and out. Thank you so much for joining us.
See you.
Voices in my head have all begun to sing. Voices in your head have all begun to sing. Sure as hell hope I am listening.